All right, welcome back to Yamcha Sessions, man. Satpal, it's a pleasure. I actually so a bit of context. About a year ago-ish, I stumbled upon your video about PJ. I thought it was a fascinating fucking video. I loved it.
I liked it instantly on TikTok.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I loved it, right? And it was when we were in the midst of changing studios, unfortunately. And I bookmarked you for the longest fucking time. Okay. And I'm like, when I get back to the fucking studio, the first few guests I'm going to call are you, right? Because I felt like you had this whole Johnny Harris from Vox vibe. It is extremely rare to have this, right? Especially when it comes to the context of culture, the culture of Malaysia. Because no one ever cares about Malaysia, right? We are like insignificant in the grand scheme of things when you look at the map. So when I saw that video, I was like, damn, so interesting. And it's almost as if it was fated, right? When I was doing up the foam for this place as well, I was going through Instagram because I was procrastinating. And I saw your video on the sheriff video. My friend Belvin.
Oh, okay.
Are you friends with Belvin?
Yeah.
Oh, whom I've always wanted on the podcast as well, unfortunately. But he's working in Singapore, I don't know. So I saw him reshare this and I was like, this is so damn fascinating because life is just so strange. So I decided, oh shit, I'm going to DM you. And that is how I decided to shoot you a message. I felt like it wouldn't do you justice if we did it in the crummy the crummy studio.
Okay.
So I'm not sure whether you watched the previous podcast, but like the past few, it's just like bare minimum because I always prefer to just keep doing. So people, I don't know, Malaysia, like, need to see things that are nice before they actually consider listening or watching. Yeah. Before we go into the mini videos, right? I just want to like touch on your background a little bit. So how did you go into this like this journalism aspect in your career, bro?
Wow. First of all, thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure, bro.
Yeah, it's quite a serendipitous event, right? Yeah. From the start, I stumbled into journalism quite by accident. My dream was and has been to be a filmmaker.
Okay.
Writer, director. That's what I studied, what I've trained myself in. But a couple of years in the film industry, I was like, maybe I should try something.
What did you dislike about it?
I think my challenge at that point was and it's definitely like a young ego thing, when you're I think that's the beauty of like being young and dumb, that you just have so much like, I deserve better. I'm so much better than this shit. And I just felt that I wasn't doing the work that I know I can do. And because by the time I graduated, I had, freelanced and written for TV and stuff, alongside.
While you were studying?
While I was studying.
Dude, that's additional, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's your co-curriculum type of shit, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I graduated, I felt like, hey, I want to do stuff that like builds my skills, and I guess I was I just didn't really get that experience in the film industry a lot.
Mm-hmm. But you were in it for 2 years, right? You were saying, or just like a freelance thing.
If you include the freelance periods and all that, then maybe about 4 or 5 years.
Oh shoot, that's quite long, man.
Yeah. So there was a lot of like opportunities for like production work, which is really good. And I think like as a director, my goal was always to do as much production work at all different levels. So when I direct, I know
you're familiar,
but I wanted to elevate my storytelling and working with actors
production
and stuff.
houses. Yeah.
But I didn't really get that opportunity. Which I don't want to blame anyone. It's just life just happens that way. Mm-hmm. And so I took a break. I did some editing for freelance as well, and I saw that Rage was hiring.
I see. Like Star Rage, right?
Yeah, Star Rage, and this was. I remember when I was working at a studio job, and I saw their like breakout investigative piece, and I was like, man, I got to work here.
Is it like a very Vice thing? I think at the time.
I guess, and it's. I mean, have you all watched Spotlight? That film about like journalism.
I feel like I've heard of it.
It's Mark Ruffalo and
I feel like I've heard of it, but it's like at the back somewhere.
It's like an Oscar film a few years ago. And I don't know. I just thought like, wow, this is so cool. You know, I have to learn about these people. Excuse me. And yeah, I just sent in my application letter, and my former editor reached out, and I guess he just took a liking to me. You know,
When was this, bro?
this was 2017.
2017.
Yeah,
Oh.
7 years ago. Wow,
Wow, time flies, isn't it?
Shit, what the fuck?
really feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
2017 doesn't even sound that far away. Yeah, man.
Sounds like
Yeah,
last
it's
year.
when you count. It's like, oh shit, 7 years.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
That's like 3 years away from being a decade
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah. So when you went into Rage, you wanted to have that journalistic aspect of it, right? You wanted that what's that word I'm looking for? Like on the ground journalism type of thing.
actually, sorry, not even. I you know, at that point I didn't know what I was doing. You know, it was like I wasn't even. I think
You just wanted a new opportunity, is what you're saying?
and I
Okay.
think what really brought me towards journalism is I've always kind of practiced this kind of you know, being honest in my craft, in my writing, and kind of being factual. You know, so yeah, I just felt like, oh, it's very aligned in that sense. You know.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Because journalism is all about finding what the truth is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, showing your sources and being factual and things like that. So when I went into Rage, it you know, I didn't really have a lot of big dreams of like, oh, I'm going to be the best journalist in the world or something. You know, it was just like,
Application of who you are, basically.
yeah,
Oh.
and it was just like, you know, let's see how this goes. And
Yeah.
within a couple of months, it was a really great environment, and it just helped me thrive and make good stuff back to back. You know, we started this series in 2018 called Newsflash, where we took like recent events and did like a deep dive on it.
Yeah.
Every week we had an episode, and that was just just you would stop, you would finish your video, and then Monday you start back research on the new one.
Right.
And
okay.
that was
A recurring thing.
yeah, we did that for like 2 years until the pandemic, basically.
Oh,
Even
sure.
through the pandemic,
Oh.
at least the start of it. So that was just really like, it was, you were learning so much every month. You know, it was, and you would learn about different things, about radioactive waste, about
Yeah.
Was that like a Linus thing at the time?
there's a Linus thing, there's a Project IC, suicide, decriminalizing suicide in Malaysia. So all this, you know, refugee rights, you're just constantly learning. So that was really good.
You were there for what, 2 years, 3 years? Just before the pandemic, you were saying?
Yeah. I mean, Rage officially, not to say closed down, but like the team departed in like end of 2021. So 4 years. I was
What,
there.
with Rage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to ask, right, you know, behind the scenes of the start, because when I was younger, I felt like when I was reading the newspaper, and everybody used to read the newspaper at the time, because in school, right, you didn't really have phones.
Yeah.
So all we did was like, we churi the newspaper, and then we all share, and then we read the sports section together, and then we move backwards to the front, because you want to watch the football news first, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after you're done, and then as I grew older, right, I realized, right, there are a lot of things that the government kind of controls when it comes to what comes out in the newspaper. And that's when I felt like I don't even know why I'm reading the newspaper at this point. It's like, you know, what makes you so certain that the facts are facts? And that's when I felt like, I don't know, you know, I'm just reading it for the sake of reading it. And then we used to have this like thing in school where you have to pick a paragraph and then you summarize it.
Yeah.
You know, you cut out that news clipping. And you gotta write about it. Yeah. And I just felt like this is pointless, you know. It's just like learning Sejarah. Like, what am I doing? You know, it's like not even real. Because, you know, Wikipedia is literally at your fingertips. But at the same time, I also didn't know at the time Wikipedia also can be like written by random people, right? Yeah. But internally, how did you guys make sure that, you know, y'all were in control? Or did y'all have free reign?
I think with Rage specifically, we kind of worked a bit independently.
Okay.
I think because we were very new, right? I mean, Rage had been around for a while, but as a, you know, investigative journalism video platform, it was a new thing, and there was definitely more like, you know, a bit more hands off.
I see.
And
You detached from the main team in some way, lah.
yeah,
Okay.
and also because we were not reporting on like daily stuff, so we didn't have a lot of like.
Oh, because you had time as well to prepare with that specific, like,
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think with how power and journalism works, a lot of it is, it's very invisible. So there might not even be someone telling you not to do it, but just because of how you grown up in the country, which is part of what I mentioned in Sheriff.
I
video,
was going to touch on that. Yeah.
that censorship is it's very invisible. It's not something that you don't actively think about that. Oh, can I talk about this? But you just know that you can't. You know.
Right.
So in that sense, I think, I don't know how actively that drove our agenda, but I think in general we tended to pick investigative stories that were
free from that jurisdiction.
Yeah,
I see.
so we would go after human right abuses, which is something that it's a bit more universal.
Yeah.
Or the first one that we had worked on was Predator in My Phone, which is about grooming of young children.
Yeah.
So that's also something that will unite people regardless of the political
But then
standing.
child marriage in Malaysia lah.
That can be another 4-hour-long podcast. I think.
Bro, I actually just did a job with UNICEF regarding child marriage, and they were saying how child marriage is still abundant, still evident in Sabah and Sarawak primarily. So they was asking what do we do? And this dude from the US, his name is Jim, I think Jim Schultz. He came by to speak about advocacy. There was this whole point about how there's no point. You gotta get to who's the policy changer. That's the only way you can change things, right? You can't just talk about it. And then all of the people who attended, they were like, oh my God, you're right. This whole time, day to day, I've been just doing ads. Where are we going with this?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's true, right? Because everybody's just in this this arithmetic process. Every day you go to work, you just do what you got to do. The checklist is done. You go back home, just spend time with your family, and then you repeat, rinse and repeat. And then when he's like, but who are you speaking to? So this whole child marriage thing is just,
I think it's also a bit layered in that sense that you can change the law, but you can't, that's not immediately going to change the environment that the people are growing up in.
It's ultimately the cultural aspect of it as well, right? They're living in poverty.
Yeah.
And they need to get out of poverty.
Yeah.
So in order to get out of it, they got to marry early in order to start a family, to start kids to work on the farm, and etc. etc.
It's a state of progress. My grandma was a child bride. I'm
sure.
sure many of us
wow.
have
Okay.
so it's just
Damn.
you just grow up in a different time.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
For us, we're like, oh my God, it's the 21st century. How can there still be child marriage? But if you look to
Pockets.
some of, these pocket communities, for them, it's like how my grandma lived in the 60s.
Yeah. It's
so-
just the way it is.
It is. But obviously we want to try to change that lah.
Of
I
course.
know you
Yeah.
the education aspect also, right? For them, it's what's the point? Going to school is not going to earn me money. That type of thing, that mentality change. Yeah. Maybe I want to touch a bit on maybe I want to expand a bit on the what do you call it, the censorship aspect of it. So you were saying how you feel like there's this form of, I wouldn't say pressure, but Big Brother kind of looks at you from afar, right? And then they hey, make sure you don't talk about the 3 R's, But don't you think it's so evident, so a bit of context for the people who are listening and watching as well. You did a short video on the latest movie, Sheriff, right? Which is like a Malaysian movie that talks about the police, PDRM in Malaysia, Police Diraja Malaysia.
Yeah.
And in the movie, right, there are a lot of things where they talk about how I watched the video a couple of times, but it's quite a lengthy video so you're going to forgive me. You can correct me if I'm wrong. There are certain things where how come the fella that's catching the police, right, is in the police force also? Right? Shouldn't it be a separate body that polices the police? Why would the police police themselves? The hell?
That's the whole argument that civil society has been making, that you can't have oversight it has to be independent, and they were pushing for this bill called the IPCMC bill, which has all the mechanisms for an independent oversight body, and that has been pushed against by
the police
and even right-wing groups.
Bro, can you just repeat that IP what again?
IPCMC.
IPCMC?
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, can you just Google that so that we can put it up on the screen and then we can just read it out?
What's the argument for the pushback against an independent body? I'm genuinely curious.
No, you have to use the word allegedly, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, allegedly,
So what we ended up with is IPCC, which is the watered down
the watered down version of it.
Yeah. The argument against oversight is, I think, there's a term, right? I think in even in America, it's known as the thin blue line. So there's a culture within the police to always back each other up. Doesn't matter what they're
like
doing.
a brotherhood.
Yeah. So for them to have like someone come in to tell them how to do their job, I think it's just when you have access to power and then when your power is being threatened,
For sure.
I kind of see the logic in that if I was the police force, I would want to push back too. It's just I would not be able to come up with a very sound argument as to why this independent body shouldn't exist.
What was their reasoning, bro?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I'm sure they'll just roti canai their way through.
Yeah.
Is what I imagine would happen.
I mean, sound arguments are not a thing for the 21st century anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember we interviewed a police officer who was a harsh opponent to IPCMC, and then he got mixed up in something where he was trying to report on other police officers,
Okay.
and all the officers ganged up on him,
Oh
Right.
my lord.
and then he got charged, and he lost his job, and landed in hot water, and then he was like, "Oh, maybe this is why we need an oversight body," So now
so he pivoted after that.
he became one of our we did a campaign on this for in 2021, I want to say, and he was one of our profiles who talked about his experience and how
Right.
to show that journey, also to get other police officers to see that that I believe what this person believes, but now he's changed his mind because of what he went through, and I could go through that. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
100% susceptible. So in that video, you also mentioned, I want to just switch it back to censorship
Sorry,
a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But like, ever since I was a kid as well, I remember in Astro. So I don't know whether you guys even watch Astro. Okay, people who are young probably don't even know what Astro is. They don't even have it. So last time, right, remember they had that PG rating, 18SX, 18R and all that. And I remember my dad, he used to tell us, you can't watch this, go up to bed. And we're like, what the hell, man? It's just a show, right? It would be like a James Bond movie. James Bond movie, so you don't let us watch, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. But obviously, because our dad took away our cartoons, we had nothing else to watch. And when he was at work, Andrew and I would be like, fuck it lah, we're just gonna watch TV lah. So we watched all the fucked up movies like, I don't know, Freddy versus Jason, all the violent shit, right? Which on hindsight, maybe shouldn't have, because until now, you're still scared of going to the toilet in the dark, that type of shit, right? But whatever. But I don't know about you. I don't know whether you've observed this, but do you feel like censorship has become even more hardcore over the past few years? Like, even the recent Oppenheimer movie, bro. Bro, they literally just black out like 50% of the screen, and you're just like, what the fuck am I even watching? Deadpool is censored.
Yeah.
Joker was censored. And it's just so ridiculous, right? Because literally across the causeway, you don't need to watch it censored. I don't get it, But do you feel like it's become more sensitive over the past few years?
Yeah, I think especially with cinema, I don't know much about TV, what's showing in local TV, but in cinema, I definitely see that there's I don't know, I can't comment like how it was 20 years ago, but it's definitely very frustrating.
It is, bro. I'm a movie guy, man. I love my movies, man.
And to the point where I just won't go watch the movie in the cinema if it's censored.
Is that your protest?
Yeah, it's like it's just like for not to take away my entertainment value. It's just
because it's quite spoiler already, bro. You watch most of it, and then you don't watch the.
Yeah, and I think especially when you've already given it an adult rating.
Yeah, what's the point of censoring even more?
It's very patronizing, lah.
It is, man. Now that you say that, I mean,
it's like you are the child, and daddy has said that you cannot watch this.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It almost feels as if they aren't respecting your individuality.
Yeah.
and your intelligence to
and
accept
your
this
basic
type of
concept of like free choice, free will, almost.
And you know what's interesting? If you watch English films,
like British English,
or just like American
okay.
films, they will censor lesbian kisses or gay kisses, but they won't censor like hetero kisses.
Right.
But if you watch Indian films, they censor all kisses.
Huh.
So it's a bit like they adjusted to according to different pockets of cultures, So
What the
because I watch
Right.
Indian films in the cinema with my family and all that as well. So they will, they'll just chop off a kissing scene, and I'm like, but that's a hetero kissing scene, and like you didn't do that for other
movies?
films. So
Well-
it's interesting. I think it probably deserves a study on its
This
own.
should be a
For
TikTok.
sure.
This should be a TikTok group.
Yeah,
Confirm.
between the two, I'd opt for the Indian film route because
Yeah.
at least you're consistent about it.
fair. Yeah.
I mean,
Wow. I also want to touch on that whole. Okay, I don't know whether it's sensitive or not, but fuck, I'm just go for it. But like religion as well. Like Thor. What's that? Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
It wasn't even released here, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
because of the whole killing gods thing as well.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I stopped following Marvel for a while, so I don't know what the film is about.
I actually stopped it as well, but for me, Thor is like, it holds a special place in my heart because of Thor 3. And I felt
Right.
like it's entertainment. Taika Waititi is like so funny. And I felt like at that movie, in Thor 3 at least, it was really good. And then when I watched Thor 4 illegally, I was like, wow, this is so fucking bad, man.
Right.
Oh no, wait, I didn't watch it illegally. I think I watched it on streaming and then I went to Singapore to watch it or some shit like that, right?
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is quite trash movie, man. And that's when I decided that, Marvel's not for me anymore, lah.
Yeah.
But I remember the reason being is because, and I have contacts in the cinema. Maybe I shouldn't say who lah, but fuck it lah. Right? So she told me that it's because of that God thing, and they were debating internally, because they were like, it's just a story, and it's based on like Greek mythology, right?
Yeah.
It's not even based on like a religion technically, but they were like, no, cannot show because God die. You're like, what?
Wow.
And the whole movie is just removed. Even certain movies like Godzilla, like -1, removed. Even in Oppenheimer in Japan, removed. It's like crazy,
I feel like that argument is a bit of a stretch. And also,
Yeah.
where do you draw that line
Yeah.
on what you can and cannot publish?
Yeah. And, just I think like tying this back, what in 2018 when the Barisan National Government fell, it was almost like an overnight switch for us in the journalism industry where we were just like, oh my God, we can like
Say what
report
you
on
want to
stuff
say.
now. Yeah. And literally now, like sometimes when I look back at some of the episodes, I'm just like, wow, we actually said that, huh? Like we did an episode on Project IC, which just a bit of context, it's about illegal immigration in Sabah. Where-
IC as in NRIC, your national identity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a campaign in the 80s that gave identification cards to illegal migrants. Sorry,
No, it's-
irregular migrants. And apparently the whole thing links back to Mahathir.
Oh,
Like there's they did a royal inquiry and everything. So we spoke about this on Newsflash on that, and I was just very surprised that we had the galls to do that.
Yeah, man, bro. That time Mahathir was
He was the
MP
Prime
of-
Minister.
Oh, he was he was
He
the
just
PM
won.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was. I think, I think it's there was a point from 2018 to 2020 where there was a bit more freedom of speech, at least for us in the, in the journalism.
Industry.
Yeah, we did feel more emboldened to do more reporting, and there was also less kind of pushback from like major media organizations, because all of the media organizations are owned by or like government linked basically.
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
not fully, but it's like partially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for example, the Star is, I think, I can't remember the numbers now, but it's like,
Bro, it's probably 50-50 lah, bro.
yeah, but it's like MCA
Yeah.
has a big hand in it,
Yeah.
So when Barisan fell, MCA was like, okay, go attack,
Go ham.
because it gave them leverage.
Yeah.
So yeah, very
And I'm inclined to agree in that upon 2018 and the change of the political climate, that the journalism space had a bit more free reign. It sounds like you're implying that post 2020 or thereabouts, things
not so-
reverted back to
Yeah.
its original domain.
yeah.
Why do you think that happened?
I mean, we had a different government.
It's-
We basically it's just BN 3.0 or something at this point, right? So, I mean, from 2020 to the last election, when we had the backdoor government, which was also very much involving, Barisan National
Yeah.
and all the OGs lah.
Yep.
Yeah. So when they came back into power, all the media, the journalists were like, oh, okay, let's press the brakes. And personally as well, I had stories that got blocked because
What
of that.
the shit?
Yeah. During the pandemic.
Got it.
Yeah. So
But the pandemic was us living in a strange time as well, I feel. I mean, I'm not defending the government during the pandemic or the backdoor government for that matter. I just feel like at that time, everything you said, whether it was government related or not, was a sensitive thing to talk about. Like vaccinations, damn sensitive. You can't even go like, you know what? I don't want to get vaccinated. Bro, I tell you, confirm you say that shit, right? People look at you like one kind, you know? You know? And I was just speaking to a German Turkish guy yesterday. His name is Goldie, and his wife, who's Japanese, her name is Chiharu. And they were just saying, back when they were in Canada, they were forcing everybody to take the vaccine, just like everywhere else, right? So they were doing that whole digital identification where you have to scan to get in and everything. And he was very against it. He was like, I don't care. You're not getting the vaccine. I'm not getting the vaccine. We don't know what it entails. They haven't tested it long enough. And then they decided to move to Germany. And in Germany, it was even worse. And he's like, dude, I don't even know what to do. Like
Right.
everywhere I go, But Germany, it wasn't policed because he was living in Stuttgart, which is not in the main area, like in Berlin and all that.
Right.
So he felt as if like I could get away with it. But in certain places like Starbucks, he told me that like, bro, I can't even pee, Like, it's my human right to take a piss after I bought a drink. But when they found out, right, that I don't have the vaccination cert, they didn't even let me pee.
Wow.
Yeah. And he just said, fuck this, man, I'm leaving Europe. So he left Europe and he came to Malaysia.
Oh, so he's based here now.
Yeah, he's based. He just moved here like a couple months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think at that time, no matter where you were, regardless of the government, right, you would feel like whatever you said is just a sensitive thing. You just don't want to rile shit up, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tricky time, I guess.
Right?
Because
It was,
pandemics, yeah.
yeah, especially when you see people holding guns during the Darurat season, you're like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
In fact, if they noticed you and like, for example, if let's say you said, I am anti-vaccine, right? And you said something like that and someone clipped you and put it on TikTok or Instagram. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't getting into any restaurant, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough time. So I think even like the regular average Joe, not even journalism, tough time to say anything, man.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole vaccine thing, it's I'm very like pro science
Mm-hmm.
and pro vaccine. So it's a tricky one for me to like come to terms with. Because on one hand, obviously human rights matter. But there is like enough data to show that like we need to get public immunity, herd immunity and all that. So I don't know. Maybe we should talk to
A doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, we actually spoke to a doctor and he was also pro-vaccine. It's just that, we're all human, right? And all of us are different. So I have a friend of a friend whose aunt got the vaccine and she had a stroke,
I see.
right? And you don't know you're going to get a stroke. You just take the vaccines because you just want to you just want to get groceries, right?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
want
live your
to,
life.
you just want to live your life. So that's the thing. I feel like, we're not given a choice.
Yeah.
Or at least the illusion of choice, because now it's like, oh, you could technically survive if you grew your own vegetables. So are we really living in a world where you have to follow them? It's a question, right? I mean, I took 3 vaccinations, right? And when they told us that you'd take the 4th, you're like, dude, what lah? You upgrade my iPhone also less times than my vaccine lah. Takkan, right? So I can understand his point of view and like the lady's point of view, right? And after that, she said, I'm not giving it to my son. Because technically they're related, right? You don't even know what's going to happen to your kid, man.
There's some truth to that skepticism. Apparently, AstraZeneca officially recently announced a report saying
On
that
the blood
it,
clotting thing, right?
causes blood clots.
Bro, I'm
and
triple AZ, bro.
low platelet
Oh,
counts.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut me and I bleed clots at this point. But it was a tough time, I feel. Even I don't know about journalism, but that whole vaccine thing, you could never be talking about let's consider the non-vaccinating thing.
Yeah.
It was a tough time, man. So okay, maybe we go back to your career.
Yeah.
So after you left Rage, where did you decide to pursue your career? Where did you decide to go?
So me and a bunch of us from Rage, we actually started this thing called The Fort.
I saw that on your Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still ongoing, right?
It's still ongoing. It's going great actually. We've branched out into a few different things. There's the Fort Academy, the Fort Alliance upcoming. And the idea here was to try and explore a new business model around journalism.
Okay.
So instead of relying on ads, what if we could scale down and work with grants and NGOs and do a bit. So it's not daily news. So I think that business model is still needs to be configured. But this is more for campaigning and longer form projects. And yeah, so instead of relying on advertising, we work with NGOs that give us funding, and we make content for them that are related to their campaigns, which is pushing forward the idea of fair journalism and transparent journalism. And yeah.
But if you work with grants and you work with all that, it's very dependent on their direction as well, right? Because if that's the case, it needs to at least be in parallel with their agenda. You cannot just...
Thankfully, at least in our experience, grants have been quite hands-free in that sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of, maybe like a focus on the third world country grants. It's like, we want to give you all money to develop the industries.
I see.
Develop the...
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Because creative industry usually it comes with a catch.
Yeah.
It always has a catch, like you can do a podcast, but can you do it with ads? Of course you can do it, but you can't curse.
Okay.
Can't talk shit about the government.
Yeah.
It's always a catch. So I know so when you were saying about how you decided like, I don't know whether film is for me, there's always a catch. When you join film, it's like you're not exactly going to, like, I feel like all of us, we always were in that young state of mind. You're like, bro, I am the next Tarantino lah. I am the next like Yasmin Ahmad lah. And then like reality humbles you and you're like, I guess I am not. I am just the average guy who goes to work.
Basically.
Youthful arrogance. We all went through that.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the film industry is kind of like that. So I was just wondering, in the fourth, whether it would be the same. Because sometimes when you work with specific NGOs, like I'll give you an example. It is an NGO that is a shade of the three main primary colors, which I shall not say.
Okay.
And they cannot talk about like the Israel-Palestine conflict. They cannot, right?
Fair.
It is because they feel as if like they're based here. And although they are international, they cannot take a side technically. So when they have speakers on and they mention about it, it's just no bueno. They don't allow that. Yeah. So sometimes, I feel like maybe they have these low-key restrictions, but they never really mention until shit hits the fan.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
But thankfully, no lah for now.
Yeah. Thankfully, our journey was quite
smooth.
Quite smooth. A lot of local grantees even. Just so we started a few different kind of campaigns. We had this thing called Project Sama Sama, where we'd bring in 6 different individuals from 6 different backgrounds to sit down and talk about contentious issue.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had one where we brought like anti-refugee people to sit and talk with refugees.
Bro, I think I've seen that video, bro.
That is wonderful.
Possibly, yeah.
Did you guys do that video where you bring in people who support BN and then people who support DAP?
Yes.
I think I saw that. It's in a big warehouse thing.
Yeah.
Bro, it's brilliant, bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
Brilliant, bro. Actually, that was actually one of the inspirations why we kind of wanted to do a very like debate-based thing. MJ brought it up before, or somebody brought it up before. And they were like, bro, you should totally bring on like people from PAS, DAP, BN. It's just like...
Yeah. And it can just be regular Joes, just to share their opinions.
Yeah, because they have their backgrounds and experience. I think I've seen that video, bro. It's very well done as well. And
Thank you.
the people there were so civil about it. Yeah. That's the crazy part, bro.
Yeah.
You would imagine they start throwing shit, but they're like, but have you considered this?
Yeah. We had thankfully, actually we did have some diffusion strategies at hand.
Wow.
But
It's a gas chamber. Put everyone to sleep.
No, nothing like that, but more like just, taking a pause and, stuff like that. But we never had to use it. People were very civil about it. So it just went to show that like the online world is very different from the real world. When you meet people real world that you disagree with, very rarely does it become violent.
Yeah.
Bravery increases by level 100 when you're behind a keyboard.
Yeah.
Confirm.
Anonymity.
Especially times 2, right? If you make a random user account.
Yes.
Well, there's no social repercussions, so you can go ham.
No profile photo. Confirm. Yeah. I tell you, these people go ham. The comment section is just a stupid area. Sometimes.
I don't even use social media anymore.
Oh, is it?
I just come online, upload my video, close it off and move
Dude,
on.
that is the same as that German guy.
Oh.
The guy I spoke to yesterday, he's like, and I even had, so you're using iPhone, right?
Yeah.
So if you swipe to your left, you get to see like phone activity. How many hours do you go on your phone, bro? Do you know?
I think like maybe I fall asleep listening to YouTube. So
Okay.
like, you know,
It could skew the.
Yeah.
Okay.
But without that, I would say maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, well, solid, man.
Oh, that's good.
Bro, that German guy, 30 minutes.
Whoa.
Hot damn.
30 minutes, bro.
That is goals.
Yeah.
That is gold.
30 minutes, and I didn't even tell you the breakdown of the 30 minutes, bro.
WhatsApp has to be like 20 minutes, right?
WhatsApp's not on the list, mate.
Huh? He doesn't have WhatsApp?
He has. WhatsApp is at the very end. It's like 2 minutes, maybe.
Wow.
Oh, guys, a fast
Bro,
typer. Okay.
bro. Get this right. 13 minutes on Safari.
Wow. So he's just like researching news and stuff?
Probably,
or-
I think he just needed to make a search, or maybe he needed to do I don't know, like understand, because he just moved, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what's going on. 30 minutes average, by the way.
Wow.
Okay, so 13 minutes on Safari, 7 minutes on the Hotlink app. Because trying to reload.
Trying to decipher how to use his prepaid card.
Oh my God.
And the incredible thing is, he took him 7 minutes. Like I'm like, wow, it's quite impressive for 7 minutes to understand the app and then reload. And then in that conversation, the wife was like, sorry, that was me.
Oh.
My guy. Might
So
as well
he's
throw
using
his
his
phone.
phone 23 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I feel like detachment from this world is a healthy thing. I think maybe
From social media. lah.
yeah, bro. I tell you, sometimes when the video blows up, the shit that you see in the comment section
Yeah.
is unhealthy, lah.
Yeah.
You will never hear that in real life.
Yeah. I actually don't look at my comments also.
Yeah, it's a
I
thing.
just,
you know.
I mean, I did it the first time and it was really lovely. Like people responded really well. But I think it just created this like really weird. I don't know if you want to talk about this just yet. We can
Bro,
go into
we
it
can,
later.
man. We
Okay.
can, man. It's a free flow conversation. We have
I'm
no
interested.
format here, bro.
Okay, cool.
Let's fucking go, mate.
So yeah, I mean, 2 years ago I made that PJ video, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't think much about it. I was just like, oh, you know, like I've known this story for a while, so and I wanted to do something that was 100%, you know, on my own.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it went viral on TikTok. And yeah, really, really lovely comments. People were, you know, like, oh, you feel like a teacher. You know, it was like, very encouraging. It was very nice. Which you would think that it would make you more like, okay, let's go. Let's start a
Get
YouTube channel
fired up,
now,
right?
you know.
Yeah.
Instead, it just made me doubt myself even more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why,
So there was always this fear that I will never live up to that video.
Oh.
I see.
And I just held myself to that, you know. So I actually shot an entire video afterwards and I edited a bit of it and I just never uploaded and never did anything with it. And I sat with that feeling for a while and it's just like, wow, I think I'm very impressionable. That's the one thing about me, which is mostly good, but sometimes bad. But I think I just took it way too seriously in my head. And I was just like, whatever I do next is never going to live up to that. When you really think about it, it's a video with like 200,000 views, which is really not a lot. But my brain just took it way too seriously. And yeah, it took me 2 years to get out of that funk.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 years to get out of that.
I mean, it wasn't just that, but yeah.
I mean, it's obviously life things as well.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
for me, okay, I'm going to sound like I'm this artsy fuck lah, right? But creative expression is something that I truly feel like is something I need to do. And that's also because like years of me going through this, I can't say bullshit lah, but it's bullshit lah, right? If you work in a company and if your client tells you got to do it this way, this color, these words, Toyota, you only use the word deals, you know, years of this shit, right? Makes me feel like you're in a prison because you can't do what you want to do. Like if you told an artist to draw something, right? The way you wanted to draw, that artist is not doing his own thing, lah, right? So for me, doing these podcasts, doing like my vlogs and doing even just taking photos and putting it, it's like it feels damn liberating. It's like you can finally fucking breathe, you know? So for me, right, if it started out like the same as well. It's like you kind of care because we're all very numbers driven. Do you watch Dragon Ball?
No.
Okay, but fuck lah. Do you watch any anime? Any anime manga? No.
sorry.
Oh fuck lah. So in certain cartoons, you know, if you see a power scale, that guy is like level 100.
Right.
Right? You're like, wow, level 100 sounds great. I want to be level 100. Right? And then when one guy comes and he's like level 200, you like the benchmark has shifted, right? So we are always looking at the higher number.
Yeah.
But actually, right, if you really look back at it, what do you feel like? You just want to breathe, man.
Yeah.
So I think creative expression is like, and especially if we are lucky to live in a country where we can, bro, just go, man. I feel like your shit, chef kiss, bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
Especially that PJ video.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Really good
Which
stuff.
I want to talk about as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether you want to mention where you live. Are you allowed? Do you want to?
Sure. I
Okay.
mean,
you wouldn't say specifically where,
Yeah.
but you're from PJ, lah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, not down to the coordinate.
Okay, so you're from PJ, right? But you've known that story for a long time. Who told you that story about PJ and how it developed?
I did a piece on a micro housing initiative by DBKL and Think City back in 2018.
What in the wow. Okay.
Yeah, so this is when I learned about it when I was researching that video, and I was like, oh wow, the population of Kuala Lumpur at night time is less than 4,000.
I told my wife's dad, my father-in-law, about this. He told me like, sure no. And I'm like, hey, I got the numbers to show you, man.
Yeah. And so that was very shocking to me. And I was like, oh, they'll make an interesting video at some point. I didn't really think much about it because I was, working on other things. And in 2022, and it's like, I was thinking of just doing something of my own, just as a creative expression thing. I was kind of stuck in a rut mentally, and I was like, let's just. I didn't know if I trusted myself, creatively. I was like, am I good? I don't know. Let's find out.
Bro.
Yeah. So
I don't know whether this is coming from a humble place or like, bro.
it's coming from a insecure, like someone who doesn't trust in their abilities, and
No lah, you're going through that whole, what's that called?
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter
I guess,
syndrome.
yeah.
But you don't know when when any of your videos blow up actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes you export like 100, none of them go viral, right?
Yeah.
But in the end, right, I'll be very upfront, man. One viral video, right, does not like even make an impression sometimes. Because nowadays everything just goes viral.
Yeah.
And then the virality lasts 3 days tops. Like if you get cancelled on social media, people call you like a fucking sexist, misogynist and all that shit, right? Tell you, give it 1 week. Give it 1 week. Don't turn on your phone. Go for holiday. You come back. People forget. They're like, oh, today avocado toast.
I will keep this in mind.
Yeah, bro, confirm one.
The challenge is, I guess, with a lot of things in life these days, we look at things in a very binary perspective in success or failure. When, at least in my view, I mean, I granted I've lived through this phase as well. It really just is, you just got to live life lah. And it's part of the journey lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not success or failure. It's just you doing you, and
Just gotta do things that bring you joy.
Yeah, man.
That's all. Yeah.
That PJ video though, right? Like, how long did it take you to come up with that whole structure? Because when you do that type of video, it's very Johnny Harris box. It's very like, but I feel Johnny Harris is a bit fucking crazy lah. The amount of maps he does, right? It's like the type of fast paced shit going on.
Very intense.
Yeah. Did you get your inspiration from that?
Actually, not even.
Or was it your own way of just trying to make the story very understandable?
Yeah, because I guess I've done similar things in the past of like making explainers, like what I mentioned earlier with Newsflash also. It was just like taking something very complex and simplifying it in an interesting and entertaining way. And making maps and stuff like that is something that I had practiced with before.
I see. Based on past experiences with production and everything as well.
Yeah. And I even I actually took a After Effects file from my graphic designer and just like repurposed her animations. I texted her afterwards and I was like, thank you so much. But so like, did things like that. I want to say the whole thing from shooting to finishing was maybe about 40 hours of work.
Wow.
Yeah.
That type of shit not easy, man.
It looks a lot. I think it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. It looks a lot simpler than what Johnny Harris videos looks like, for sure.
Yeah.
It looks a lot simpler than Vox. But that's because we forget that Vox has a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And Johnny Harris had a lot of assets after he moved from Vox.
Yeah.
He just takes it in his laptop, basically, right? And not only that, he's got a lot of money after Vox. So that's why his whole house is like a new studio. I don't know whether you've seen his new studio house thing. It looks dope as shit.
Yeah.
He's got like cameras mounted everywhere. Kitchen, living, top down, everywhere lah, right? So for him, production work is like, oh, I just gotta switch on a cam, record, export, put it in. But for a lot of times, right, like if you start a video of like a new, fresh, well, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Sourcing for like the map and everything. It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah. And it ended up completely different from what I what I went in to shoot actually. I had a whole thing about where I want to walk around the neighborhood and hold the camera and stuff. And then when I was doing that, I mean, the camera is like, I don't know, like 10 kilos. It's just like...
It's fucking heavy, man.
Yeah.
You're holding the gimbal one, right?
Yeah. And then the dogs are barking in the back. And I was like, this is not working. So I went back home. So I shot the opening shot, where I'm standing in the middle of the street.
The River of Life thing, right?
No, the middle of the street.
Yeah, Jalan
PJ.
Templar.
Yeah, Jalan Templar.
Yeah,
I shot that
yeah.
first thing on like a Sunday morning. And after I tried to shoot the other stuff, it wasn't working. So I went back home. I was frustrated. I took a nap.
As one does.
Yeah. I woke up at like 3 o'clock and I'm like, I could just shoot the second half in my balcony and then shoot the KL one in KL. So I went to KL. I shot that KL stuff. Then I came back home and shot it in my balcony. And I was like, you know what? The idea is not to make it perfect. The idea is to get it done.
Ah, man, that's my life motto, man.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of things don't look like finished. Like you look at those foam imperfect, man. Yong and Nick were like looking at me like, bro, look at your arrangement, man. It looks fucking terrible. Yong did this side and it looks so neat. But you look at this side, it looks terrible, mate. But you don't really notice it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times we set this like perfectionist mindset. Perfectionist is like the enemy of getting shit done, bro.
Yeah.
Because you're just always looking for it to be like, it has to look a certain way in your mind. But the reality is your mind is clouded. You don't even know.
The reality is if you look at something close enough, or even someone close enough, you'll find faults.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you make, do you watch Casey Neistat last time?
A bit here and there, but I
Here and
wasn't
there.
like actively following him.
Yeah. But this guy, I feel like, has this whole mindset where you should just get it done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when you do get it done, people notice eventually,
Yeah.
right?
He had a one video a day kind of thing, right?
Bro, he vlogged for like a daily vlog for like 4 years, mate.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but with everything comes sacrifice. And I felt like his marriage was at the...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was dicey, man. He started a podcast with her, I think only lasted like 5-6 episodes as well. But he was doing it with her and it was called couples therapy. So it's just them having a conversation, him and Candice.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like that didn't last and he was like, I'm just gonna stop vlogging lah. He's got a kid, like what's the point if you keep doing this?
Kids now.
Yeah. But it's the money, right? I think when you
Yeah.
keep doing that and then like money comes in, he gets like 1 million views every video. Every million you get $1,000. So like you get like 30 grand USD every month. And that's not including sponsors. So kind of hard,
Yeah. It's a tricky one when like your art becomes your job,
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
And then you learn to hate it
Yeah.
because you just feel like you need to do it. Yeah, man. It's rough. Maybe we talk about the third video, your vaping one. I'm so curious, bro. So, okay, I don't know whether you want to say, are you allowed to say whether you...
Yeah.
Okay, so all three of us...
Vape.
Yeah, we inhale things
boy.
that... Maybe Relts should sponsor us, bro. Fuck, man. That'll be
Kids
sick.
don't do it.
Don't do it. You shouldn't
100%
do it. Yeah. I've always told people you shouldn't inhale anything you shouldn't inhale.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't bring you anything. But at the same time, I can't say that with a straight face because I feel like a lot of opportunities came to me because of it. I don't know about you,
Okay.
but for me, like every time I smoked cigarettes or I did vape and all that, it always brought me closer to who I worked with.
Okay.
And maybe it's just me because I work in that industry in which you speak to suppliers, you speak to colleagues, you speak to people that are a bit rough on the edges, right? It kind of smoothens things over, So
Yeah.
that way, like I was in Spain and I was having this meeting with this Turkish dude, and this Turkish dude was so fucking tired, bro. You could see in his eyes, this guy was done, mate. He didn't want to talk to me already, but I had to go to a meeting with him. So I smelled him, and because he walked by me, right? I can smell he smelled like cigarettes. I'm like, hey, bro, you want to smoke? He's like, oh shit, do I smell? I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I mean, I just figured, I saw your lighter. I didn't see his lighter. But so we went for a cigarette break, and then he opened up, and I felt like, see, this this is what it is, man. I feel in reality, right?
Fair.
Yeah. Although you shouldn't start, I feel like it does help to some extent, but you should learn how to stop, which is even harder. I think we can all agree. But you did this video and on your, I think it was Reel and TikTok, if I'm not mistaken, right? And you were saying how, so if you look at your air purifier, there is this meter that measures what clean air is. I think it's like a measure of 10, right?
PM 2.5.
Yeah. Is it 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it shouldn't go above 15. Above 15 is unhealthy. So this guy, he takes an inhale and he breathes out his vape at the machine. You know what the number is?
600. I saw the video.
Bro. Bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I have the same air purifier. And the same thing happens every night. Because it's next to me when I sleep. So I'm lying down in bed watching YouTube, right? As one does. And then I vape and then I can look at the machine.
And then you can hear the fan go.
Yeah.
Oh shit, the fan works on overdrive, huh?
Yeah. You can hear it.
Yeah.
It's facts, man. Facts.
Yeah.
Capital X.
Yeah. What possessed you to want to do that? That video?
I think there was a bit of a haze season-ish going on. Yeah. And I remember I was like, I don't want to go outside because the air is so bad. Which, it's very ironic. Then, I had the purifier sitting beside my table and it was running because the air was bad outside and it was like at a 10, 12, 15. And I was like, oh, what happens if I vape into it? Went up to 600 and I was like, oh, this sounds like it will make a nice short video, So I just did it on my phone very quickly. No script, nothing, just kind of take after take.
I tell you, after that fucking video, and I was watching the video having a cigarette.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. I tried to quit like a few times over the past couple of years, and every time, my kasihan my girlfriend, she's always at the, receiving end. I mean, I'm not like mean or anything, but I just become very grumpy and like sad and like I don't want to do anything. Once I quit when we were like on a holiday in Genting, and that was like maybe just like 6 months into us dating, So we were still like figuring out each other's like boundaries and stuff. Yeah. And she was just terrified the whole time because I was just looking like I want to murder someone. Yeah. Pity that poor girl. Like, when we came back, she was just like, she told me that she just felt afraid and like worried. And
Oh, this is after you had a cigarette then? Or after you vaped, then after suddenly you feel better?
Yeah. So someday I'll find time to do that.
Someday. I told my girlfriend end of next year.
End of next year.
Is it? Why?
Yeah, she asked.
Is it like a 2025 thing?
No, I don't know. I think it's a 30-year-old thing. Yeah.
Oh, you should. That's what I thought.
It's the way I'm viewing it.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing I'm not alone in this statement, and I'm guessing a lot, like 90% of people who make this statement don't actually fulfill that statement. So
yeah.
But
could be me.
When you do make claims like this, you do tend to quit.
Yeah.
If you make claims and you keep making claims like that, people look at you and be like, "You sure not?"
Yeah. Because now you've got your
you hold
social
yourself
repertoire.
up to your right. And human beings naturally have that tendency to like, I don't want to look like shit in front of everybody because it's a very group thing, right? All of us humans, especially with people that you see very often. So they hold you accountable. So if you say you're gonna quit by the end of next year, you said it once, I've mentioned it a second time. So if you keep saying that to more people, you will feel more accountable on doing it.
Yeah.
You might just step on your vape and be like, fuck this, I'm done.
Let's hope that's the case.
Yeah.
It works. It works for some people. It
may not for others, I think.
Yeah, I think for me it's the reverse. Like, I wish I could get people to hold me accountable, but whenever I have like told people that, I'm working on something or I'm writing a script about something or I share my idea with them, I never get it done.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So now my trick is I just don't talk about it.
Just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Like some of my close friends, they didn't know I did the sheriff thing until it was out. And then I sent them the link and they're like, when did you shoot this? I was like, I'm not going to tell anyone anything anymore. Because when I do, I think when you, as a creator, what you're looking for is an audience, right?
Yeah.
So when I tell a story to someone, I already found my audience. So my brain is like, oh, you've done your job.
Right.
So let's move on. So I'm in trying this out where I don't tell people what I'm doing and let's see how it goes.
Oh man, I'm the complete reverse, man.
Wow.
Yeah. I just tell people straight I'll be doing this. Like I recently started, in January, I decided I will try to lose weight. I will try, right? And I keep telling people I will. And MJ is the one, so MJ is a friend. He's like, okay, you send me a picture of what you eat, and I'll tell you the calories, and I'll tell you the protein, right? The protein grammage per meal. And I've been doing this since end of January now. And I lost, I think, so I was 84 kg, and I'm 77 now, 76
Wow.
now, right? So I've got 3 more to go. I wanna hit that 10 kg loss,
Wow.
right? And every day I've been sending it. The only time I decided I would go off the rails is when I went to Japan, and only during my honeymoon with Jen. So the other 2 weeks when I was working there, I'm like, nope, I'm holding myself accountable. I gotta send this shit.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great, man.
Yeah, but I gotta keep saying it, right?
Yeah.
But the smoking thing was so difficult. I feel smoking is a whole new level when it comes to quitting, because this is in your own quiet time.
Yeah.
When you're on quiet time and you pull out that vape pen, you take a deep drag, and then you're like, okay, today not so bad.
And I mean, there are chemical hooks in it also, so it's like the system is rigged against you, basically.
It's so tough.
Yeah.
It's so tough. But have you heard of this thing called Alan Carr's Guide to Quitting Smoking?
Oh no, what's that?
It's a PDF. It's a book actually, but
Okay.
it's a PDF now. Apparently, it's a 90% success rate if you read that.
Helen Carr.
Alan Carr. You
Alan-
can
okay.
just Google it. You know who sent it to me or not, Nick? Justin sent it, bro.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
okay. I
yeah.
gotta try this.
Yeah. So I think Justin, he sent me that PDF and he quit for a whole year,
Wow.
Yeah. And then he just relapsed. He's just like, fuck it, I'm
Aiyo.
stressed. The thing is, I feel like that whole smoking association, right? I don't know about you both, but for me, it started because of stress. So I started smoking. And every time you associate stress to smoking, you just go like, this is my cure. There you go. Alan Carr's easy way to stop smoking. 90% rate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I got a PDF. I can forward it to you later also, right? So apparently, right, if you have that stress relationship, right, you will automatically default to smoking. Now, every time you're done with the stress, you're like, bro, I need a cigarette. Now you associate chill
Yeah.
with cigarette.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, every time you go to different locations, you associate that location with that moment you're smoking a cigarette also, or vaping, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's my problem right now. I feel like there are too many things that bring me back to that. Oh, I should go for a cigarette.
Yeah. That's the thing with addictions. Like, it starts off with, like a healthy way to respond to something. You're stressed, you meet your friend for a drink in the bar, and then
Half a pack.
yeah. And then 2 weeks later, you're stressed, your friend's not available, but hey, a drink helped the last time, so maybe that'll help. And then 10 years down the line, you're an alcoholic. So yeah, addictions like that.
It's hard, bro, for me.
it's
For
really
me, it was food and it was cigarettes. Wow, damn difficult. But I feel cigarettes are a lot tougher because even with vape, right? Because there's no scent. The cigarette thing is like, okay lah, you can stop lah. But I don't know about you both, right? But when I stop, I have headaches as well. You guys have that?
Yeah, for maybe like a couple of days, maybe 3 days.
It's painful,
But
man.
over time, it subsides.
Yeah, I just get really sad and I just like lie down in bed and I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to watch anything.
Wow,
Yeah,
shit, man. Bro, how old were you when you started, bro?
It's very stupid. I was 23. I didn't even start like as a young, excited teenager who like wants to rebel. I started as like a young adult.
Yeah.
Like when I tell people I started at 23, they're like, wait, so you were not like stupid. You were like, you decided to do this.
Technically, your frontal cortex is only mature at 25.
25. Yeah. I was just, it was in uni. I was hanging out with some friends and I used to do this thing where like, I think I'm smoking, but I'm not. Like I don't inhale it inside because I don't know how to.
Same.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends was like,
bro, you're not inhaling, bro.
yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he didn't want to teach me actually. He was like, it's okay. You don't want to know. And then another friend was like, okay, you do.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and then you obviously coughed your lungs out the first time.
Yeah.
As one does.
And then, the buzz and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the moment I can't come back from. Event Horizon.
Event Horizon.
Bro, that's the same as me.
Yeah.
But my boss is the one that taught me how to do
Oh,
it.
man.
Yeah, we all went through the same shit, man.
Yeah.
I was 21. I also went through the whole college phase. After only, when I start work only, I started.
Yeah.
Every time, bro. And it was at Pusat Bandar Damansara. So when I drive by there, I got chills, bro. What was your first cigarette, bro?
I think it was Dunhill Red.
Bro, same.
Likewise.
You also ah?
Exactly the same.
I think there's a starter pack,
And it's brutal too.
Yeah.
It's like you go in hard, man.
Yeah.
Now every time I smell a Dunhill Red, right? Don't you think it takes you back?
Yeah.
It just brings you to that point in which like, this is a lot of regret going on.
Yeah, it smells like memory, man.
right?
Yeah, that's what it smells like.
That type of thing is just bad lah.
Yeah.
Okay. We diverted a bit, but
Yeah.
okay. So I know you also went into Greenpeace for a bit. Maybe you want to touch on that. So you started the 4th,
Yeah.
and concurrently you were at Greenpeace.
Yeah. So I started the 4th and I worked full time there for, I think we started it, 2 years. I was there like full time 2 years. And I just wanted like some kind of international exposure. Greenpeace is an international brand. And I think because the 4th is very startup and it's...
You say it like that, but 4,000 followers, quite big lah. I feel.
Yeah, but the model is still very, we're very lean. Which is, I think it works, but I just kind of felt a bit burned out as well by the end of it. And I was like, I just want to, try new things in life. I'm young. If I fail, that's fine.
I see.
So then I got into Greenpeace. Been there for a year and a half up to yesterday.
Hey, my guy.
Why did you want to join Greenpeace though? Is it just because you wanted to change the pace or like?
Yeah, and I mean, just try to level up, work in an international organization, see how that feels like.
But why specifically like in that type of industry in which like it protects the environment and all that? Like, it's quite a different...
Fair. Like,
right?
Why not go corporate or something?
Yeah.
Like make a corporate or something. I guess like the social justice bone in me was, still standing out. And it was like, I don't... And I think I was also very careful to not want to go into corporate and, work at a place where I don't have control over what I'm doing and like, got to listen to clients and stuff like that. At least like, I think...
you get that creative freedom somewhat, right? I think if you're doing content, but of course within a certain specific topic.
Yeah. And climate stuff, I'm it's I think there's a lot of stories there to be told. And a lot of things that people don't know about. So I went in there. Year and a half, good stuff. Nice environment. Progressive.
It is progressive is especially here, man, I feel.
Yeah. And the history of Greenpeace is also like, comes from a very hippie movement.
Really?
Yeah. It started with
How so?
a bunch of hippies that were trying to end the nuclear program in the 70s, I think.
What?
Yeah. A couple of Canadians. Can't remember their name. Sorry, Greenpeace people.
No worries.
And their whole thing was just that, there are atrocities happening against the climate and no one's witnessing them. So we're going to be the witness. That's it. They were not trying to like change the world overnight. They were just like, we're just going to be the witness to atrocities. And that's the philosophy that they carried forward. It's called non-violent direct action. So you are being there as a witness without being violent. Which, resonated with me deeply. A year and a half, made a lot of, explainers, some content, coverage of our campaigns and events. I think we just got to relearn the same lessons sometimes. After a year and a half, so what happened, this is still kind of work in progress. A couple of months ago, I got a grant for a short film.
For under the 4th lah.
No, not under the 4th.
Oh, individual yourself.
Individually for a fiction short film from Busan Film Commission.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Like Korea, Busan.
Yeah.
Shit.
So they were like, hey, go make a short film. This is the theme of the exhibition. It's for an exhibition coming up next month. So go and make a short film and here's some money.
This is to be played in Busan, I'm assuming.
Not at the festival. It's going to be played at an exhibition. So if I want to play it at a festival, I have to submit it through the whole thing. Yeah. So I made the short film. It's in post-production now. I would have loved to bring the trailer. But it's
Oh,
not,
bro, just give me the link. I
Can-
don't know when it'll be done, and I'll just put it in the description. This
Awesome.
episode will probably come out like in a couple of weeks or a
Awesome.
week-ish. Yeah, I'll put it in the link, bro. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's my first like fiction creative venture in quite a while. Like over the last
Yeah.
decade, I've been doing like documentaries and stuff. So I haven't like really made a short
Like
fiction.
fictional type thing.
Yeah, and I just had so much fun, like being on set and working with actors, working with a composer.
What was your position, bro? You're a director?
I was directing it. Yeah.
Shit, man.
And I just kind of, it just kind of clicked like, hey, like Greenpeace is good. The stability is nice, but clearly this is something that I find a lot more joy in.
Yeah.
And
Because you got your freedom, mate.
yeah,
You get to do what you want to do, man.
yeah. And like get to do films,
Yeah.
fiction and
Oh, you circling back, mate.
basically, right? And yeah, and I don't know. I think like maybe if there's a book that that marks my past decade, it would be like How I Learned to Trust Myself. That'd be the title. Because it's really been a journey of like trying to figure out that I have a voice and
Yeah.
I need to trust myself that I have something interesting to say, if not important. Like I don't, just have fun. So that's what brought me to this decision. Like, hey,
To leave
let's
Greenpeace now.
and nothing wrong. Obviously, nothing wrong with them. They're a great organization, but it was just trying to
It's just your time now.
Yeah.
Your focus is to change.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Where was the entire thing shot? Was it shot of here?
yeah, all shot here. A portion of it was shot in my house because we're trying to save money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the case. But do you feel like in the film industry in Malaysia, it's so difficult? Because one, there's talent. Talent is so tough to find, I feel. Especially good talent. People who can act in front of camera. Like, right, when we look at the Oscars, you think like it's like a circle jerk, lah. Right? But I can tell you, right, to be an actor is really difficult. Because you got to remember the lines. You got to remember how it's delivered, your expression while you're delivering, your body in that specific state. Right? So it's always like, you're just talking in front of camera. It's so easy. No, man. It's hard, to channel that, right?
Yeah.
You can have off days. You can have personal issues. It's difficult. So it is tough. And talent is difficult to find in Malaysia. So front of camera, back of camera also is damn hard to find. And that's also because I think the industry here is very, I wouldn't say it's shit. It's just that it takes a while, man, to get to that point where it's Hollywood material or whether it's even airable in those Cannes film festivals, like indie film type thing.
Yeah.
And it's also because a lot of people who do find that opportunity, they move. Like, why should I be here, man? Like, case in point is Michelle Yeoh, right? Like, Ang Lee, all these guys, right? They always find greener pastures abroad. And it's damn sad,
Yeah.
because of this. You can go back to censorship, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's just culturally, like parents tell you become an accountant at Deloitte is better. And talent is just damn sad here, bro. How do you navigate through this during your production? Or do you feel like it's going to get better over time?
I guess I've been molding myself to be an eternal optimist. So
Tough in these times, brother.
yeah. But I've been maybe just very fortunate to have been able to work with some really talented people, great actors, composers. Oh my God, the music for my film is
Good shit.
really good. And I didn't know about these people like 2 days before I got into pre-production.
Wow.
And it's just, so I think there is a lot of talent, even if it's not visible. It's about, I think networking plays a big role, luck plays a big role. So I think obviously when we see a lot of local films, it can be, sometimes it's like, oh man, why?
Oh, dude, it's so bad, lah.
Yeah.
It's so bad, lah, bro.
Yeah.
I tried to rewatch Sepet also.
It's, it doesn't,
That time, I remember Sepet damn good.
yeah.
Then I grew older, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? My God, it's quite bad, man. Even for its time, bro. The acting also bit.
I think, I mean, I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember the film just had a lot of heart. I don't know about
For
the acting
sure,
and
for
stuff.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think the messaging came across very strong, right? And that's also because it was, I think it's Yasmin Ahmad, and I think I don't know. I always feel that when a film is made, right, and it comes from a certain type of truth, it hits hard one. For sure. I can't explain it. I just know that when people do work and the work has taken influence from some part of their life, it slaps different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dune. Did you watch Dune?
Yeah.
Dune 1 and Dune 2.
Yeah.
So the director Denis Villeneuve, I can never pronounce his last name, but he had always dreamt of doing Dune, right? Together with Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer's dream was also always to do Dune. So in his mind as a kid, right, he's always been imagining specific scenes that he had wanted to shoot since he was a kid. And when he directed Dune, right, don't you feel like, damn, this is some monumental shit?
If you have you heard of Jodorowsky?
No, how do you spell that?
Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky.
Yeah, Jodorowsky.
Is it Russian or what? Can you Google that, Nick? Jodorowsky. Jodo.
Sounds like Lewandowski's cousin.
Yeah, Alejandro
Oh, wow.
Jodorowsky.
Okay.
So this guy is like a bizarre filmmaker.
This
And-
looks like Clockwork Orange, that guy.
He's in that caliber lah. And he was supposed to make Dune in the 80s.
He's the guy that wanted to do it in like a 3-parter type shit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And the studios didn't like him because he was way too experimental.
Mm.
And then there's a documentary with Jodorowsky and Denny together where they talk about his vision. So it's called Jodorowsky's Dune, which I think if you watch that and then you watch Dune 1 and 2, it just hits different because it gives you so much more context of where Denny's coming from and his like heart in the project.
I see. Dude, it's on YouTube lah.
The documentary, I'm not sure. I torrented it. I sailed the seas.
Okay, later send me.
Can.
Okay. Yeah. But I feel like when you watch certain movies like that, it really feels as if all of us humans have this connection when it comes to storytelling. When you tell a true story, people know.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's like we're all linked in some way or we have a similar experience.
I think that's the thing with art, right? Because you can't put it in one sentence. So that's why that's why it exists. And I think there are a lot of things that are kind of universal in the human condition. So these things just it just brings
That's why
us together.
Sepet felt good.
Yeah.
It may have not. I mean, if you really want to critically analyze this shit, right? Obviously, like production-wise, could have been a lot better. Acting-wise, could have been a little bit better. That type of thing. Even storyline, right? The way they left it hanging, it don't really show what's his name, Jason. At the end, I don't know what the fuck is the main
Jason.
character, main character's name at the end. Also, doesn't know whether he really dies or not. That type of thing. When you watch all these things, you're just like, oh my god, quite cringe, right? But when you really look at it as a whole story perspective, you can tell that it came from somewhere, like an experience that either Yasmin went through or a friend of Yasmin went through. So that's how I think like she channeled it, right? But when you look at the majority of films that come out of this country, I feel like it doesn't really have that. Like Chichak Man, no man, not really, bro. Like I don't know about Sheriff, I didn't watch it, but like local films don't really have that, which is so sad because I if you think about it, this podcast is local, right?
Yeah.
So technically, like why would I even listen to my own podcast? What the fuck, bro? That shit.
I think any form of art that is co-opted and capitalized on, you lose some value there. So
What do you mean by that, huh?
like, I mean, film is, it's for me, like I like to think of it as an art form, right? But then when you have studios established around trying to make money off film,
Yeah.
it's very,
You can tell.
very rare that that's going to translate.
For sure.
And you become very number driven. You want to cast that actor because they get the most likes on Instagram. You want to.
The marketing is very, you can tell it's
Yeah. And often in, developing third world nations, this guy is going to be the script writer because he's that Datuk son. So
my God, I
a lot of
see.
that kind of stuff happens. And this is, I'm sure, like you go to Myanmar, the film industry is there, has that. Philippines probably has that as well. So yeah, that's why there's
We can't say that, but I think in Hollywood you probably have some inkling of that as well. Like if you look at
most probably, yeah.
right, they do have that touch. What's that guy? The guy that fucks women before they cast them. What was that?
Weinstein?
Weinstein, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
also the whole Nepo baby thing,
Sorry.
Nepo baby, nepotism. Yeah, so it's like kids that are born to actors.
Like McCulkin.
You're
Macaulay Culkin.
gonna get more parts, just like compared to the average up and coming actor.
Yeah, because they have a history already, right?
Yeah, so it's all
Safer
yeah.
bet.
It's just like where you're born, like the right
Yeah.
postcode networking and all that. So
It has to fall into place now.
yeah,
Do you feel like the film industry will get any better in Malaysia?
uh,
Like because you're in the thick of it, right? You just finished your short film, and if you look at it, I think you would have a closer look at where the industry is going compared to both of us. Because for us, every time you look at a movie that is a release, I think it's just to us the background of what the new Marvel movie is coming out. It's literally
Yeah.
just to fill up the spots in TGV GSC.
Yeah, like if you open up the GSC app, and I think
It's
most-
just difficult to scroll, you know.
yeah, it just takes up space,
Yeah.
I would say that I'm not maybe like too far off from you guys because I've been quite an outsider to the film industry. So even the short film that I made, it's very like, it's not like, in the thick of the film industry. I think I can't really say
I see.
how the film industry is, but from what I can see based on output, like, I mean, Sheriff was a fun movie on its own, and I'm hopeful. I think that's all we can.
Practicing the optimism thing. I cannot ask you these type of questions now.
Yeah, I cannot lah, bro.
Are you open to disclosing what the plot is? How long
For my film?
Yeah,
Hey, don't lie, wait. He's gonna send us the link. Where aren't you the person that doesn't watch trailers?
Yeah, generally no, but now I'm curious.
Oh.
Only if you're open to disclosing, of course I'm not gonna probe.
So there's a bit of context. The exhibition that's happening is called Scent of ASEAN.
Like scents and smell.
Yeah. So what they've done is they have like some paintings, some local Korean artists that are doing some kind of exhibition there that revolves around scent. And then they commission 7 short films across Southeast Asia.
It's kind of like BMW shorties, right?
There's a theme, BMW Shorties has a theme also,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So kind of like that where they commission short films and whatever your short film is, it has to do with scent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the examples they gave felt very like, oh, this is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about scent and Asia, because it was like, oh, smell of sage and like smell of prayer and joss sticks, and I was like, I don't want to do that, So it's kind of talking about addiction, but it's using smell. So the film is about a person who's. Do I want to spoil this? Okay.
See?
No, yeah. If you,
I haven't prepared my PR for this. But basically, it's about someone who's addicted to the scent of women.
Oh, that's very fascinating.
Yeah. So it's looking at addiction through the lens of scent, and yeah. So that's
Oh, my colleague Justin is damn funny. He's like, wow, she sure smell nice. One.
The fuck?
yeah.
Wait, is this via a photo? Or what?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In photo, and then like look at those models, we're like, wow, Sarah Choi. I think she smelled quite nice. I'm like, what the fuck?
Interesting. Should have casted this guy.
I never thought of that, but now that you've mentioned it, I feel like I would have a difficult time not thinking about it.
But
Yeah.
smell is always a very, quite taboo almost out of the 5 senses, right? Like touch is one thing. Touch can be friendly. Touch can be romantic. Touch can be, lustful. It can be violent. Hearing also can be the same. Sight can be the same. In fact, I think even taste, right, is so limited to food, right? Sexuality is just basically porn at this point. But scent, for some reason, is beyond that,
Yeah, it has a weird angle,
Don't you-
socially speaking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like it's layers to it, like, it's you can sniff flowers, or you can sniff in a
Even-
perverted way, like
Yeah. But even so, right, I feel that scent is probably the strongest out of the 5 when it comes to nostalgia.
yeah.
When I think about it, at least, every time. So when we were kids, we used to go to the US because we had family there. And every time you go to the US, they have a specific smell. And then when you smell that smell, you're just like, I remember. You even remember, I don't know about you, right? But some memories just pop up in my brain. I'm like, oh shit, I remember I was standing here, I was doing that. And
Yeah. More
The
than the
scent-
memory, it's a feeling. There's a very unique emotion that's derived when you smell something extremely nostalgic.
yeah, especially if it's specific.
Yeah.
A specific smell will really bring you deep in. If it's a generic smell, like, for example, if you go to San Francisco and you walk around the airport, you go to the market, and it's more or less there's this specific, like, overall average smell. But if you smell something very specific, really it will take you back to that memory. Right? You can even remember like the steps, the whole storyline already almost
Yeah.
in your head.
I think
Yeah.
like that scientifically also it's shown that like scent is really can bring you back. Like it's one of the strongest indicators for nostalgia and stuff.
So basically, all the films that are under this entire umbrella are going to be about scent as well.
Yeah, but
Wow, tough, bro. Tough, bro.
Yeah.
Can be difficult to shoot, man. I feel.
scent, right? Like yeah,
I can't really imagine like if you were to ask me to go through my directory of movies in which I've seen it before in my life, I can't seem to recall any that really talk about or even have. So you talk about action movies, you always
Yeah.
have that John Wick / Jackie Chan in your head.
Mm.
Even romantic, it's Under the Rain, Under the Umbrella, some shit like that. You have generic scenes, but scent I find very difficult to.
It is, yeah. It was very very hard, and yeah, I think like the film that comes to mind is Perfume. Have you all watched Perfume? It's this guy.
So
I've
familiar,
heard of
bro.
it.
Can
Yeah.
you just
Damn
Google that shit, bro? What year was it? 2000.
I want to say like
Fif-
sometimes in mid 2000s.
mid 2000s,
Yeah.
2005 ish.
Yeah, I think so.
Search
But
Perfume.
I don't know.
Search Perfume movie, Nick. Hold on, Nick's doing a Google search so we can
No
pull it up.
worries.
Perfume. So familiar. Is it Japanese?
No. This is a European film if I'm not wrong.
French. Parfum.
Story of a murderer.
Oh my god, so familiar. So familiar. Is it
Yeah,
Alan Rickman?
No,
Yeah, it's Alan Rickman, bro.
it's
He's the Severus Snape.
2006.
It's 2006.
Oh, yeah. He is in the film. Now I remember. Yeah. It's really good, very haunting. But the thing is that the film is not really about the smell. It's like because you can't convey scent in
Through
films.
film, yeah.
So it's like it's driven by this character who's driven by scent, but it's like the film is about the story, about the horror and all that. So that's also one of the things like.
It was tough to communicate through.
Yeah, it's just like I use a lot of like music and
Yeah.
lighting and stuff to kind of
Evoke
convey
that.
the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow,
the-
damn tough, bro.
Yeah, let's see how it turns out.
It's damn tough, bro, to imagine that.
I suppose it's helpful in that this is being played in an exhibition in which the theme is scent.
Yeah.
So
Helps a lot,
the background context is
People already
halfway
coming
there.
in with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know
that
what I
helps.
always find very perplexing are perfume ads. Like,
Yeah,
It is never about perfume, bro.
yeah.
it's never
It's
like,
was just having this conversation yesterday with my friend
oh,
because we were in the cinema and a perfume ad came on, and we were just like, who started this trend? You know?
Yeah.
Who started it?
Why are we agreeing to it?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
have you seen that Kenzo ad?
Oh, I don't think so.
It's by what the fuck is this guy's name? Spike Jonze.
Oh, is it the one in the lady in green dancing
yeah,
around?
you know
yeah.
that one? Have you seen that shit? Kenzo is a girl that's in green. She does multiple expressions and then she starts punching the glass, starts shooting lasers, and then breaks things.
Yeah.
But it's a really well shot ad, bro.
Yeah.
If you watch the ad, right, even the typical person, right, would watch it and go like, where the fuck is the camera?
It's very wacky.
Yeah.
And it's about perfume.
It's about perfume.
Of course.
So
Why
after
wouldn't it
it's a 3-minute thing.
Mm.
be? Yeah, why not go all 9
After
yards?
you
man.
watch the whole thing, right, you're like, this perfume, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. The usual, the usual suspects are like Charlize Theron, and she's like, yeah, or like what's her name? Natalie Portman. She's
Natalie
like,
Portman,
yeah,
yeah.
what would you do for love?
Yeah,
Dior,
oh
that
my
shit.
God.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Johnny Depp and Dior Sauvage.
Savage,
Yeah.
or Hemsworth, in Boss. It's always like the typical male stereotype, female
Yeah.
stereotype type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to communicate scent because when I was doing advertising, that was the difficulty. It was always communicating scent.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you go to the US or I don't know whether here has it, but magazines, they have strips that you can peel out that you can smell. That was the only way to advertise it.
That's
Ah.
really smart.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
You have to. It's like it requires conscious effort to peel out.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thing. So like if people were to flip through the magazine, A, the person that's flipping through it in the fucking shop can steal the scent. B, right, the guy doesn't even peel it at all, which is worse. Because he's like, oh, it's just a magazine. And the scent runs out after like a couple of weeks.
Like a perfume, lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very difficult
Yep.
to communicate. Yeah. Bro, when you were growing up, right, did you watch a lot of movies? Because if you were friends with Belvin, right,
Mm.
confirm you both will go ham about talking about movies. lah.
I did watch a lot of movies growing up, but like me and Belwin, I guess maybe, like we're more of an acquaintance.
Oh, you're an acquaintance.
Yeah, not like we're not like super close. We don't hang out all the time, kind of thing. Yeah.
How do you know him, bro?
Met him through another friend. Yeah, at like a while ago, and then he did those memes. Yeah,
Bro,
so
I've always wanted Belvin to come on the podcast, right?
yeah.
But I every time I ask him, he's like, bro, I outdated already, lah, bro. I was a trend at one time. Yeah. But he and I have a lot of I've never met him in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only actually I think I have maybe once because we were doing this Malaysian project thing. I forgot what it was called already, but I worked with him once and he was known as the emo person.
Right.
What's the meme called again? Emo, bro. You search emo Malaysian guy meme. I mean, I hate to sound racist, but just put the word Indian in there as well. Because Belvin is Indian, right? And he's like everywhere, He was this guy wearing a Malaysian jersey in the middle of Bersih and he's just looking damn emo.
Yeah.
You know, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Bersih, more like Bersai.
Yeah.
What was the meme called?
Emo protester? Is that the you didn't really
love me. I fell for you harder than the ringgit. Bro, just click on it. Can you just click on it? Yeah, just so that I can see what's the meme called for my sanity at this point. Just keep scrolling. He blocked me.
the
though.
emo protester.
Emo protester, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said that above earlier.
I've always wanted him to come on the podcast, but we never really managed to link up. And when I was just about to link up with him, the fucker moved to Singapore. Aiyo, this fella wear Malaysia jersey to a fucking protest, then he goes Singapore some more. Aiyo.
Can't deny that 3.5, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I had plenty of conversations with him regarding movies, so I always thought that you guys like had that similar thing, right?
Yeah. Surprisingly no. Like,
Huh. He's the one that also shared a couple of your videos, and that's how I discovered you actually. So when he shared your PJ video, if I'm not mistaken, is when I was like, wow, shit, man. Whole industry is just like hidden amongst the whole country until it popped up. You remember that emo Malaysian guy? The meme, the guy that looks emo and it's like, I fell for you harder than the ringgit, that kind of thing.
I have to Google it. I'm sure I've seen it.
Can you just pop that up again? Because that guy is his friend or acquaintance lah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know whether you watched a lot of movies, but what made you want to go into film actually before this? I'm sure there was a movie of sorts, right?
There was
Or an array of it.
so Nolan was a big
Oh my god, you Nolan fanboy lah.
yeah, I'm a Nolan fanboy. Yeah. One of those.
Okay.
But I was a Nolan fanboy before it was a thing, huh?
Just
putting it out there.
Sure.
There was a Hindi film called Delhi 6.
Daily 6.
Delhi is the capital. It's a city in India.
Oh, Delhi.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
Delhi,
okay.
That really moved me. I mean, I watched it back over the years, and it's not that great. But when I was 16,
I remember. I know the feeling.
I was very moved by it. But also, it didn't really develop. It wasn't like I want to be a filmmaker, but it was more like I really liked writing. So I started writing short stories, and I was like, my family was ready for me to go on and become like a physicist or something. Like I was good.
That sounds so stereotypical as shit, bro.
Yeah. And but I just fell in love with writing, and a lot of the things that I would write felt very cinematic to me. Like I would imagine the camera angles and the lighting and the quotes and all that. So I just kept writing short stories, and then I went into a filmmaking workshop, and they were like,
Locally?
yeah.
Huh? In PJ?
Yeah. No, this was in Cyberjaya.
Oh,
by
shit. Wow.
KRU Studios. They're the ones who make Chicha Man, actually.
No shade to you guys.
Yeah. It was a great workshop. So went there and I sent in my short story, and they were like, this is great, but it's not a script. So go and write a script. And I was like, oh, what's a script? And I learned what a script format is like. So then I just started writing scripts. So from there, it developed into...
It's all right.
From there, it developed into making short films. So I started making short films on my phone with my friends. Just two of us had the same phone, so we were just shooting some really lame shit. With
You stitch it together.
acting in it ourselves with really bad peaking audio and all that.
Oh yeah, man, I can relate.
Yeah, did that for I think 6 to 8 months, and then
Wow, this is quite conscious effort, bro. 6 to 8 months doing that.
yeah, I guess it was just young and dumb, and so then I went to study. Yeah, so
You studied film.
Yeah, studied film.
Who? You gotta be honest with me, right? What did you learn in film? Because every person I know that says I study film is like, bro, you don't learn anything in film lah. Fuck learning film lah, bro. You just learn how to use a camera lah.
Oh, actually, so the main thing for me was the environment.
Okay.
I really
Where did you study film? Sorry.
Lim Kok Wing.
Oh shit, dude! I applied, bro, but
Oh.
I decided to go to Taylor's in the end. I just decided to go mass comm because
Ah,
when I wanted to do performing arts, my mom was like, no.
Oh,
Okay, mass comm. Okay, you're saying Lim Kok Wing?
yeah. Lim Kok Wing. They don't have a film program anymore.
Oh shit!
if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So I had a really good. I mean, they're 80% international students. So that was really good. So you get the, going overseas to study experience without going overseas.
Yeah.
So that was the first main thing. But secondly, the course was divided fairly equally into practical and theory.
Yeah.
So we actually had history of cinema, Asian cinema, and all that. So there were classes where every week we'd watch a film, then you had to write an essay on it.
I see.
So you did learn that, but also a lot of it was, just making short films. We would make 1 to 2 short films every semester.
That was kind of like your final in some sense, right? You had to work with the team to do it.
Yeah. So we never had exams. So that was great. Or, my housemates would be like, so stressed about exams. I'm like, exams? What are you talking about?
What are those?
we just go make short films.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you feel like did you feel like you learned a lot in film school? Honestly speaking.
Honestly speaking, I think
because it's more of dissection of films, you see. I did a film course.
Right.
So I didn't really go full force into it. And that's
Right.
because I enjoyed it.
Right.
And I was just talking about this last night as well, right? But I only knew about the Holocaust after I did film. That's fucking crazy, right? I didn't
Right.
know about it until someone
Yeah.
did a piece on Schindler's List.
Right.
So when he did it, I'm like, what's that about? It's about the Holocaust. I'm like, what's the Holocaust? Everybody just looked at me like, bro, are you fucking mad, mate?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
And
didn't teach that in school.
They don't.
Yeah.
I was just busy playing Maple Story and fuck all, right? So when you go to college and then shit like that happens to me, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So I'm diverting, but basically I only did a 6-month thing. And in that 6 months, or maybe even less, I was just basically doing a lot of film analyzations. And I used to pick mainstream shit like Godfather, right?
Right. Yeah.
So for me, it was just analyzing, but it never really taught me how to shoot and stuff like that. It was just analyzing.
I mean, it depends on what you want to do, actually. If you want to be like a cinematographer and stuff like that, I think then, you obviously need to learn how to use a camera. But also, that's a tough one to answer because I literally, in my second semester at uni, one of the lecturer, I was talking to him and he was like, actually, what are you doing here?
Wow.
You should be
Inspiring.
working. Because I had made short films on my own. I knew how cameras work.
Yeah.
So it's like, just go out there and work. You can learn more than
That's the thing.
being here.
Yeah.
But I think I'm really into theory of film and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from that aspect and from the friendships that I made, which I think
Low-key network
is-
also lah. You pay for that lah.
Yeah, which I think is ultimately transferable to any course you do. If I did, I don't know, fucking chemistry, I would have made really good friends also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just like going to the university lah. Yeah.
It's just actually to just meet people. Andrew has this thing where he's like, it's no point going to university unless you go to the big 4 schools like Yale and Harvard
Yeah,
and
it's
shit like
either
that.
Ivy or not Ivy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But I'm like, no
Very
lah.
binary?
Yeah, quite binary, bro.
Yeah. Because I'm of the opinion that uni didn't really teach me anything lah. Yeah,
Fair.
it really is just the people you meet,
Yeah.
and hopefully they become someone, and then that sort of helps you in your career.
Yeah.
It's an exponential curve if you look at it from an IB perspective versus non-IB perspective. So if you're not looking to go to an IB, it kind of feels like it's not the end all be all already lah, right? Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it.
So question is, if you had a kid, would you send them abroad? Study?
I
Only
mean,
for IB.
personally, I would, even if it's not IB lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Because there's a life experience sort of thing there. lah.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think like part of going to university is not just what you learn, but it's like
Yeah.
the experience, right? Like
Yeah.
living alone, living with
Pay the
away from
bills
your
and some-
family,
yeah.
Right.
fucking up and doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
100%, bro. And I feel like in some sense that is kind of like the lesson, right? Because you're allowed that mistake.
Yeah.
You're not allowed that mistake when you have a family.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're allowed
Yeah.
to fuck up a
Yeah.
lot.
It's life on training wheels.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah.
You know, and I think like because of technically going to university, right? It's going to your job, holding yourself accountable. You know, showing up, doing shit you don't want to do out of hours, kind of giving you that whole basics of life type of thing, right? Pay for your own rent, although you don't really need to pay for rent because your parents are paying for your rent that thing.
Yeah.
But it's just how to channel money, lah, right?
Mm.
And then once you learn how to operate that, then you go on your own, lah.
I actually feel even as an adult, it's still training wheels to some extent. Like you are still allowed to fail. It's just
I don't know, man. Like, don't you get a warning letter at work when you don't show up?
it's failure to a degree. Is all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's
How
often-
much? How much?
Yeah, it's
how
often
much
told-
pain you get, right?
It's often told like in uni you can fail. In the working world you can't. No lah. You will always fail.
If you don't fail, you don't learn. So
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But if you fail in corporate, so for example, if you sign the wrong thing or you do the wrong thing, I mean, I know people, right, who have lost like a lot of money, you know.
Yeah, no, it truly happens. But
Yeah.
I mean, at least speaking in the context of Malaysia, labor laws are in your favor. Don't sweat it, man. It's
Yeah lah, I can say
tough to
also
get
lah.
fired. It's really challenging, actually.
Yeah, because they have to pay you like a compensation fee and everything also lah.
Yeah,
So technically,
and if you
like,
take them to labor court, it's a whole thing, and 90% of the time you're going to win. So so with that in mind, it's okay to fail, lah. Don't be so hard on yourself, lah.
yeah,
Is this unedited? Can I use the washroom?
bro, just go, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but I apologize for how the restroom looks only lah.
No worries.
It's the bare minimum lah, bro.
Just shy of the bare minimum.
Yeah. What's the time?
It's this way, actually.
Oh, it's this way, bro.
Yeah.
What's the time, Anik? No, I mean for the pot, so I can just 1 hour 36. Okay, so I can cut out this part. Yeah, you just gotta cross. Actually, I want to go take a piss too. Don't click pause. Don't click pause.
Wow, these curtains really make a difference with the aircon, man. No joke, man.
Fucking cool, right?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, but that goes to show, man. There's a solution.
Yeah, I just didn't think this was it, man.
Oh, you, bro.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, man. It's the mood, it's the vibes, the moods.
The whole floor is yours or just this side? Ah, okay. I see. Okay. Oh. It's okay now. It's
okay now.
I was because I needed to pee. It was cold, but it's fine now.
I don't know whether you got anywhere to go after this though. You got anywhere to go?
no
All
rush.
right, nice. Okay. So after film school, right, did you just decide like you wanted to go into journalism because of that? Wait, you went
So
to
I worked in the film industry. For a couple,
you did the
couple of
freelance
years.
thing, right?
Yeah.
But was it tough finding like production houses to go in and work full time, or is it like mostly like a freelance thing here?
It's a mix lah. If you want to be a crew, like you want to work, cinematographer, sound guy, then it's mostly freelance. But if you want to be in producing, writing, directing, and stuff, then you usually can go in house.
Oh.
But there are also freelance directors, so it's really up to your preference and your skill set and your networks. Yeah.
I was watching this like video on YouTube, right, about how in the US, so when they write like a movie, usually they have, or even a TV series for that matter. So normally you have like a head writer, and then you have like junior writers under them. So like these junior writers would kind of shadow the main writer to do the overall project, like whether it's the movie or the film, the TV series. So when they go in, right, they are always freelance, but the head writer is always the full-time for the
Okay.
But I don't know whether it's the same concept here, because over here I realized, right, when I work, I mean I really haven't worked in it, but I observe it, right? It's always like, oh, I got a guy. And it's always like this amalgamation of like all freelancers. That's why I never really know of any production houses here. So if like, let's say, so the whole podcast, right, that we do, there's for one, it's like we love talking to people lah. It's just fun, right? But the secondary objective is also because when kids listen to this podcast, it's kind of like a casual way of understanding where I can go, what I can do, right? So if a kid is like interested in doing film, if he stumbles upon this podcast or he knows someone that wants to go into film, he can then share this video to that person and be like, hey, not that bad, right? So do these production houses have, is it the same thing as the US, or do you feel, or is it different? Because for me, it's always like freelance everywhere though. Doesn't evoke that sense of stability if you go into the film industry, right?
It is, the gig economy. I would say there are scales to it. So obviously first you have your studios like Astro and View and all that. So that's the studio level where they plan their ideas. This is our slate for the year. Then they will work with studios. They will work with production houses. Okay, we like this director and we like his team. And then the other members usually, especially like Grape.
Grip.
Yeah, like a lot of these under the line positions, a lot of them are freelance.
Gigs.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what's grip or not, by any chance? No. Grip, right? Is the most manly job.
Yeah, it's the person who helps to set the lights and stuff like that.
Oh, and he carries the heaviest shit.
Yeah.
And I only know this because I see a lot of like film memes. They're like
movie set memes. Are you on?
movie set humor or something like that.
Right,
it's quite funny. So it's like grip guy. Oh damn, go carry the heavy shit. Yeah, it's usually the case.
I will say though, writers don't get respect in Malaysia lah. Script writers, yeah. I think now there's a bit more of a movement to, because in US you have this writers' room thing, right?
Bro, the whole industry stopped because of the fucking writers protest.
Yeah. So in Malaysia, writers' room is just a new thing that's kind of coming into.
Is it?
Yeah. So I think before 2010 probably it wasn't even a thing, and it's slowly coming into shape. But even then, it's very like
it's not mature.
Yeah, it's not mature, and you don't get involved. It's
very sad, bro.
Yeah.
It's very sad, and I think that's also a lot of the reason why there's brain drain when it comes to talent here. There's always this aspect, right? When I look at it as a whole, people just are not valued here, and don't say writers lah. I think overall, right, unless you are a director or like guy behind cam, and behind cam is replaceable as well, so you don't really get enough respect here. And I think that's why there's this barrier to entry into the film industry here, right? It's kind of, I wouldn't say chicken egg, but quite chicken egg. How do you encourage your kid, if your kid wants to do film, if the industry doesn't really encourage growth? There's always this cap here.
Yeah.
Even music, bro, actually.
The arts, I think Asian. Yeah. First time I told my mom I want to be in the film industry, she did not respond well. Let's just put it that way. Because we like doctor, engineer, lawyer are positions that they understand, and film, even though like my mom watches so many films. You know, it's just so far removed for them because it's like, oh, you gotta be someone's son or something. You know, like it's
a network thing,
network
a
thing.
connection thing.
Yeah, so it was, and you know, I mean, I grew up in Selayang. I not a lot of film people there, so I had to kind of. I was that annoying 18-year-old that was like sending everyone film friend requests and like, you know, hey, I'll come for this screening. Hey, I'll come for that screening, just to get to know people. Yeah,
Bro, it's them. But you know, right? The thing is, right? You say you're from Selayang, and then you say like, I'm just this kid from Selayang. You know, I have this same mentality, right? For the longest time as well. I'm like, I'm just some kid from Oakland Road, lah, bro. Who the fuck? If you're from Puchong, also, you're just some kid from Puchong. You know what I mean? It's like you're just some kid from everywhere, right?
that's true. That's true.
Do you watch football?
No, I don't.
Okay, so like Cristiano Ronaldo, he's just some kid from Madeira. And do you know where Madeira is in Portugal? It's the Port Dickson of Portugal. Bro. Who the fuck cares where Madeira is, bro?
Yeah.
Right? And even if, let's say, you're from a small town versus a big city, so you're like, I'm just some kid from New York. Actually, I'm willing to say, right, that like if you're from a city, it's a lot harder. If you think about it, right? You're like, I'm
Because
just
there's so many of us.
Yeah. Competition is even more difficult. Like Lionel Messi is from Buenos Aires in Argentina. Can you imagine how many kids out there you had to like step on top in order to get to the top?
Yeah, I'm just a kid from New York. Oh, you mean like with alongside 8 million other people?
Yeah,
But
dude.
if you're just some kid in KL, there's only 4,000 sleeping population.
Right. But you know, wait, so that sleeping population thing, are they just locals or is it realistically everybody exits the city and only 4,000?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's just locals or it counts migrants, but there's a very specific radius for it, lah. So it's that city center, the
core.
core, you
Like
know, where
Kuala Lumpur city center in terms of like KLCC.
no, not KLCC. This is like KL in the, you know, like for, I don't know, like 100 years, KL was just like a very small. We're talking about like a Pudu, Central Market, Petaling Street.
That core area.
Yeah. So
The
that
old-
is the OG KL, and then
Right.
It expanded
KL
to the larger
yeah.
version of what we call KL today. Lah.
Yeah, so that area, that core area has a 4,000 nighttime sleeping population.
Wow.
Yeah, which used to be like the
Overpopulated.
KL,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you think about Petaling Street, who the hell sleeps there overnight? Lah?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Who the hell wants to be there at night, lah, bro? Fuck Petaling
There,
Street,
maybe
man.
for drinks, makan.
I don't know, man. Do you go to Petaling Street for drinks?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you go to Petaling Street for drinks?
Certainly no. I'm just saying that would be the only use case for actually going. Lah.
Yeah.
You would never.
Real question though.
Live there.
When was the last time you went to Petaling Street?
Oh, that's super recent. Lah. It's not a fair.
Oh,
comparison.
serious shit.
2 days ago.
Why?
Oh.
Yeah. Dinner in KL.
Hokkien Mee?
No. Heaven forbid, no.
Why?
No, there's this restaurant which all of you should try. It's really good. It's Bowl.
How'd you spell it?
BOL.
Can you
BOL.
just Google that real quick?
Yeah.
In
Oh,
on
this is really good. Really good.
Yeah?
food.
what
Yeah.
cuisine?
They will feel insulted if I say this, but it's Nyonya fusion.
Oh, okay.
Nyonya inspired.
Why would they be
Asian
insulted?
Cuisine, because they very explicitly said this is not Nyonya food. Right? Yeah. So they seem to be very defensive about it, but it is what it is, lah,
Could
right?
be
Nyonya
Burm-
adjacent.
It could
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
Burmese. Could be Burmese, you know, like wow, quite
Ah,
atas,
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, but the food is
shit lah.
really, really good.
Okay,
I really give it to them.
Fuck
Yeah.
lah, dude. Everything is
Like-
so fucking
When I
expensive
get my
nowadays.
next job.
Bro, everything is so damn expensive. But I mean, potential film shooting area, like if you want to do like a nighttime scene where like there's this forbidden romance, like in the mood for love, Wong Kar Wai
Yes,
type of thing.
yes, has that
Yeah.
vibe.
No, actually, like my perspective is upstairs may be true, but downstairs apt for a horror film.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Yeah. The wallpaper gives very eerie vibes.
Like a Jordan Peele thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly a Jordan Peele thing.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Have you all been to Chocha?
Oh, bro, I have. Chocha is great. Dude,
Yeah.
fun fact, Chocha is where I met my wife.
Oh, really?
I mean, not actually, that was my second date. Yeah, I take that back.
Oh, okay.
Zen and Co, right? Where's
No,
Chocha?
Zen and Co is the first one. Chocha is the second one. Second date we went.
Oh,
And we went on Merdeka.
wow. Okay.
Good fried chicken, bro. Chinchalo fried chicken is amazing there. Yeah. But I think they changed a bit the menu over the last decade or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Chocha's been around for a long time. Hakka food.
Right,
Oh.
right.
Yeah, but like premium.
Yeah.
Premium Hakka food. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has that whole shop lot look as well.
Yeah.
But they're not Jordan Peele. That one confirm Jordan Peele.
This one Jordan Peele for sure.
Yeah, I
Just
can
sit down,
tell.
right? The restaurant's empty and you're like staring into space.
And ding!
Yeah. John Peel right there.
Yeah, it evokes that feeling.
Yeah.
It evokes that feeling. Yeah. What are we talking about? Petaling Street?
Yeah, so it's 4,000 sleeping population in core KL is the point here.
I
Yeah.
see. But what were we talking about before that?
Film, network.
Yeah.
Bro, I tell you, when you go on that tangent, right? You go three
Yeah.
levels. It's like Inception. You can't go back. You just can't go back.
You
Like,
need the kick.
Fuck, bro.
You need the kick.
We just had this problem last night also, We were talking about something, right? And then we were talking about Israel, and then Israel went to like this guy from Hong Kong that decided that, it created this ripple effect. And then went. And then we were like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
Happens.
Be that way.
Fuck lah,
Be
dude.
that way.
We're talking about film, right?
Yeah.
Film industry. I lost my fucking train of thought lah. It's
Being the, the only one, small kid from New York.
yeah. Petaling Street. Bro, dude, this is fucked up,
Yeah lah.
man.
It's okay. We can move on to the next talking point.
So my memory is like fucked.
Oh my god, this is gonna bother me so much. I was going somewhere with this lah, bro.
I think, if anything, about like getting
shit,
people to.
Oh yeah, it's
learn
about
the
kids.
film.
It's about
Yeah.
kids, and it's about how they get into the film industry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you look at the holistic part of it, right? It's very discouraging.
Mm.
And that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, it's true for any industry lah. If you ask
No,
me.
it's not. No, it's not.
I mean, to different degrees for each industry, but by and large, if you were a regular old corporate slave, right? The argument presents itself: why am I slaving my hours away for 3,500 ringgit if I'm lucky, when I can be in Singapore? So
Singapore cost of living is fucking high lah.
No, but overall you still save more and you earn more. So it's like, why be here in general becomes the question, provided that you have that youthful arrogance of like, thinking I deserve better and whatnot.
Do you feel like working in Singapore is better in terms of saving and earning? What do you feel? Neutral perspective here.
I think financially, probably, it makes like more sense. If you're earning in Singapore, your dollar probably goes further. And I mean, if you are ultimately planning on coming back to retire, it's a jackpot, isn't it?
And I'm talking about the average income here, right? So if the median income is like, I don't know, let's say 2,000 ringgit, 2,500 ringgit in KL.
Yeah. Singapore 2005.
Singapore is, totally going to outpace you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a first world nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
For sure.
But don't you feel like if you were living in Singapore, right, you would have to spend a lot of money on various things that keep you alive in Singapore? Because when I was having, maybe not Singapore lah, I was having this conversation last night with that German guy, German Turkish, and that Japanese, his Japanese wife, and they were saying how, right, a lot of times, right, when you get taxed, I don't know about Singapore's tax laws, but for them they get like 40% tax, their salary.
oh,
Yeah, so when he takes home like 4,000 euros in Germany, it's like a 40% tax. So like you take home like maybe like 2,000 odd salary, right? 2,500.
yeah, Europe is
2,300.
40%. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, he has to pay for rent.
Mm.
And then you have to pay for food. And I'm like, just like, wow, dude, what are you even?
Singapores income tax is
Very low.
super low.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is, I think for foreigners coming in, which is supposed to be high, 15% flat income tax rate.
Flat.
Flat.
So that means you earn 100K also still 15.
15.
What the fuck?
That's a competitive edge lah.
Yeah. And that's high, bro. Once you get PR and citizenship, it goes down to 12%.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very attractive for foreigners to
But
come
you
in.
live like in a confined space lah, technically. You don't really
Again,
have land.
we are looking at it from the lens of people who grew up in Klang
Yeah,
Valley, where
yeah.
you have access to your parents' home to
Yeah.
go to work.
Yeah.
Right? Majority of population are outside Klang Valley. Now, if they want a job, they have to move from Perak to Klang Valley.
Yeah.
And
And,
then
then you
rent a
scale
place.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
Then you have to pay also.
So you still rent a room and you still live a very shabby life, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I was just talking to my friend Lashwin last night, right? Kapla, about how a place in PD, right, would be so cheap. I don't know whether you've seen this movie, Leave the World Behind. It's a Netflix
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Julia Roberts and the fuck is his name? Ethan Hawke,
Yeah.
right? And like it's how the whole of civilization goes to shit, and then they don't know because they go for holiday, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking like, dude, if this shit happened in KL, right, we all fucked already, bro. North South Highway confirm jam,
Yeah.
right?
South
Yeah.
Highway.
Right, confirm jam, right? The inner roads, people think like, because it's only the second step, only my second step, oh, inner road, sure, no jam. Confirm jam, right? Everybody is trying to leave the city. If like, let's say, hypothetically lah, someone's gonna bomb KL.
Mm.
Bro, Gonzo,
Gonzo, man.
right?
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Probably the best bet is like biking your way out. So I was having this conversation with them and they was like, you know, we should probably just get a place in PD, bro. PD is about an hour away,
Mm.
you know?
Right.
Can you just Google that
Beachfront.
shit just in case
You
I
still
sound like
have
an
to-
idiot?
You still have to get there though.
Yeah, well, you could bike there. You could bike there. You could cycle there. Easily. Just carry a backpack, cycle there. You can one. Bro, you know how much is a house in PD? Landed property single story? You wanna guess? Guess.
300.
300k?
90.
It's midway, it's 150k.
Ah,
Wow.
all right.
See, 95k, I'm okay, what?
2 hours.
Yeah, not too bad,
I
bro.
mean, the traffic now is 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think quite doable lah. Because you need to make your way somewhere if shit hits the fan anyway. Yeah. And you know, bro, for that amount of money, like your monthly is like what, 600-ish only.
Wow. But
To own a place, you know, landed property by
how's
the beach,
internet?
How's the internet? That's the
Yeah,
question.
Bro,
if you're
internet's
working
gonna go down
remotely-
anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
if you're preparing, if you're a prepper, then yeah lah. But
Right.
for daily
Yeah, yeah.
living, yeah.
No lah, but you see, right, the thing is, right, I was thinking about it. In KL, we pay a lot of money for rent or your down payment for your house / your mortgage / whatever. Like, cost of living is damn high. But technically, if shit is the fan, right, we are like 7 days away from famine.
Mm.
Everybody is 7 days away from famine. Like, realistically, this world, right, is only it only allows for maybe 1 billion people to survive in a very like,
Worst case scenario.
yeah, like, you know, if everybody were to ration out their food and like, I think 1 billion also is kind of a stretch, right? But now we have 8 billion. 8 billion people, right? Gone, mate. Canned food, like, COVID was like, prime example, right?
Mm.
It's almost no start of shit, you know. But you go PD, right, and you have like stock supplies, right? Then can survive.
What do you know? What do you know about the world ending?
Basically, I'm not Mahershala Ali in the movie, lah, right? But if someone were to tell a friend of yours that is Mahershala Ali, bro, I think you're out of KL quick, mate.
Mm.
Right? Where would you guys go?
Jana Baik. Yeah.
But where?
So if it's false alarm, I can still go Genting on the way.
I really like Fraser's Hill.
Yeah?
I just went there in December for like just a weekend getaway with my friends.
Chill.
Dude, it hasn't changed in the last 20 years. It's so nice and calm and quiet.
quiet,
Oh, it
yeah.
was so good.
I went, I think, 1.5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But I went to Cameron, lah.
Phrases,
Oh,
yeah.
Cameron sucks.
Oh, is it? The jam is bad, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fraser's is like empty and there's like this British colonial era
yeah.
vibes.
There's that clock tower thing, right? In the middle there,
Yeah.
one, right? Then they
That's-
serve like, I think like wonton mee next to it or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. There's like this also this kind of like a British smokehouse thing with
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
scones
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Oh man.
But fucking X lah, that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good lah. It was really nice.
You see, I think a lot of people would default to colder climate in KL. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the whole reason why Fraser's Hill was made was for white people to chill.
Yeah.
When they were busy colonizing us, it's
Yeah,
like, oh man, it's so hot here.
Yeah.
I'm tired of colonizing. Take a break.
But if you watch that Leave the World Behind movie, right? That guy was stacked, man. He was ready, man. That home for that.
Yeah.
I forgot what's that girl's name. That they wanted to watch the finale of Friends. I don't know what's the name, right? But she basically found this whole huge mansion that was stocked, that was ready, that had all the movies lined up. Everything was just, and the first thing she did was just watch the fucking finale of Friends, you know? Right? I feel like that is probably what, you don't need that, but you need the basics of that. You know? And I don't know why people keep reinvesting properties, right, within KL, right? When like, if shit really hit the fan, right, you wouldn't give a fuck about all your 10 properties, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they're optimizing for non-apocalyptic world, you know.
But you could just do one property though, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's opportunity cost, right? That's one
Yeah.
non-apocalyptic.
Would you all both do it? No.
I mean,
I sound crazy, right? I sound like Alex Jones type of shit, you know. I swear, when I brought this up to Jen last night, right, to my wife, she was like,
What do you know?
she just went like, actually, you're right, wait. You should probably do that, man.
I would be down if we just pooled funds, right? We pooled funds, okay, right? Let's say 10 grand each. Okay,
Bro, 10 grand? I think 5 grand each will get 4 people
Sure.
can share.
whatever
Down
lah, right?
payment. Oh.
Yeah, you get a bunker, right? Which we all collectively agree if apocalypse happens, we all go here. Okay lah. Which, by the way, sounds like a great business model.
It's like a Grab, but for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I think quite solid, bro. Stock out on tissue paper, you know, you have a
Yeah.
cleaner go there, clean. Then after you got a free holiday home. Yeah.
Right.
Have you been to Japan before?
Yes.
Which part? Like Tokyo?
No, I went to Sapporo.
Wow. Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Damn, mate. When did you go?
2014.
Winter, you went.
Yeah.
Must have been
Like
fucking
negative
cold.
16.
Jesus
Yeah, I went in
Christ.
February.
Oh. Did you go with family? Did you go with?
No, it was a film thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you shot there.
No, I didn't shoot there. I went there for like a film workshop.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
so nice
It
one.
was great, fully sponsored. It's glorious.
Life is
Fuck man,
good.
what's
Not-
the festival called?
It's also by Busan Film Commission. It's called FLY.
FLY.
yeah.
Can you just go Fly Sapporo?
Film Leaders Incubators. That's the full
Oh,
thing. lah.
FLI.
Yeah. No, but it's spelled out FLY,
What?
but they call it Film Leaders Incubators. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah,
Oh, so
we don't
hipster
make
on
the
these
rules.
people.
Yeah. Some.
In Sapporo.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
Sapporo was like 2 days, and then they took us to. So we had like 5 teams. Yeah, so one
We are
fly-
certain we fly.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh shoot.
So I was. There were like 5 teams. We all went to different parts of Hokkaido. So I went to this small ass town called Yubari,
Uh-huh.
which is like it had a population of
5,000 or some shit like that.
like 9,000. Like
Yeah.
At its peak, it was 120,000. It was a mining town, and then like
That is
Japan
the
moved
case.
away from coal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a really good experience, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you notice, right, the houses there, right? It's just almost like the whole town is abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the more outskirt you go, it's just like almost as if people just evacuated,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And you know houses, right? Because we're talking about housing, right? I stumbled upon this Instagram called Cheap Houses in Japan.
Mm.
Bro, houses in Japan, it's like 40k ringgit, you know?
Wow. You mean like in the outskirts and stuff? Like?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not outskirt per se.
Right.
Like you could go to like let's say you go to Kyoto or you go to Osaka, right? You just take like half an hour bus ride
Mm.
for 40k ringgit landed property with like proper living room, 3-bedroom, 2 toilet with a shed and some land for you to plant vegetables, you know.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, 40k, 50k ringgit, you know. Ringgit, you know.
Shit.
Yeah, they're selling it for like 12,000 USD, that type of shit. Because they're just desperate to
Yeah,
fill
yeah.
up the spaces in all these different parts of Japan. So I feel, right, like maybe Malaysia is going to go through the same thing. I had a conversation with on a different podcast with a guy named Dennis as well on his coffee podcast. And he was saying the same thing. You don't need to go that far, bro. You go Ipoh. Weekday, right? Dead.
Mm.
Yeah. Technically, if you go to Ipoh, right, you can just score a landed property and
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who's living in Ipoh now. I think he's renting for like sub 2
Whoa!
for like 3-story.
3-story, 200 ringgit. Ah?
No,
Oh,
no,
2K,
no,
2K,
two-
2K, 2K.
Sub 2K lah.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay, okay.
But it looks glorious. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like we're living in this place, right? Where we just, I don't know whether it's worth it anymore, man.
You sound very burned out by like civilization.
Bro, I don't even need to commute. I work and live in the same neighborhood.
Mm.
Yeah, the company is down the road, literally just over there. I just
Right.
feel like, you know, for me, it hits harder when I have to go into town. And I just realized, right, there are millions of people that are doing this every day.
Yeah, that's me, man.
I don't know how they do it. I had a friend, his name is Sam. He used to be a vet in Kota Damansara, if I'm not mistaken. And he's like, dude, fuck this, man. He upped and left.
Oh.
He upped and left and he went to Muka in Sarawak. Bro, Muka is as remote as like he can go, man.
Right.
You gotta go to Kuching, you gotta fly to Miri from Kuching, and from Miri you gotta take a 4-hour
Bus
like
ride.
bus ride, or you gotta ride by car, I don't know, on this dirt road shit to Muka, you know.
Wow.
He's really damn hardcore off grid, you know.
Wow.
And he's loving it. He opened a vet there. I don't remember Sam, right? Sam,
Yeah,
Sam
of
Wong.
course, of course.
Yeah, he opened a vet there. And like 5 p.m. on the dot, goes to the beach and watch the sunset with his wife and his dog. Bro, isn't that not the life?
Yeah.
We got
yeah.
so much land and then all of us are just fucking pulled in this area where we're like, just slave away like this.
I feel like a lot of millennials are of this perspective. That
Yeah.
we just want
it's
to
just like
detach.
scaling down and
Yeah.
like move away from capitalists.
Yeah. And ideally like retire ASAP Rocky.
Are you going through this?
Oh yeah, no, I'm 100% millennial right now, right? I'm just saying it's a general
Are you a
trend.
millennial, bro?
Yeah.
Right? Do you feel that? Or do you feel like,
For
nah?
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like so tired, man.
I mean, I just quit my job because I want to do something that brings me joy.
Yeah, that's
quite
peak
millennial.
How much more millennial?
Yeah. You're a textbook millennial, bro. If I Google it, I'll see your name there.
Fucking hell, bro. I don't know. When I look at it with so much envy. But obviously it comes with its downsides, right? The guy is a vet, so when it comes to animals, he will get like house calls at like 10 p.m. He has to go all the way there, and it's like, oh, my monkey, right? His eye is missing, Can you patch him up? Ah?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his Instagram is just full of weird shit. Like, I saw a cat that its urinary tract was stuck for like a week, and then it's so bloated, so you have to drain the pee from the cat.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up, dude.
Yeah, and it's because it's like, I wouldn't say jungle, but it's like outskirt kind of thing.
Right.
So people, to them, it's not just dog and cat anymore. You gotta have like weird shit like snakes and lizards and shit as pets already, right? So to them, it's like, oh, hospital untuk haiwan liar.
Yeah.
I don't care lah, right? Just hopefully he has a solution. It's rough, man. So for his industry, I think quite tough. And when you go on Google Maps and you see Muka, like the restaurants are kind of trash, mate.
Yeah, can't be a filmmaker there lah.
A bit tough.
You can't be a lot of things there, bro.
Yeah, so that's the trade-off lah, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I can go to that level, but I kind of envy it when I see his Insta stories, man. I'm like, wow, because the stark comparison of his past Insta stories, right, are always just traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what every millennial really wants is the option to do that.
I mean, technically, we all have the fucking option to do that.
No. As in, if you hold a full-time job, what you really want is periodically, whenever you feel like it,
Quit your job
to
and go.
go for a period of time and to come back whenever you want. I think that's truly what people want. You don't want a permanent decision of moving to Mocha. At least most people.
Or
Are.
maybe it's our fear of commitment to a certain thing also lah.
No, I think it's just human nature to want what you don't have. Is all it is. When you're in Muka, you're gonna miss Kanbe ramen in Mongkiara or whatever fuck lah, right? Yeah, that's just life, man. You just want more or want what you don't have lah.
If I had a freezer and I could butcher a cow, I could live off steak for a whole year though.
One cow a year?
I think so, bro. And some
No
eggs.
fucking way.
Some chickens that lay eggs.
Not one cow
Eggs,
a year,
cow.
lah, right?
One cow a year. Wow, I don't know if that.
Bro, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if
think
that
can.
checks out. You got a big ass cow, lah, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
cows are pretty damn big, mate.
But a year is that's a long time, bro.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
you see the thing
I mean,
is,
you
right,
can't eat cow every day, lah.
can
You
have
gotta,
eggs,
eggs, vegetables, and
You can do a barter system with your neighbors, Some of them grow some cabbage.
Yeah.
Grow some, have some rice. Some things, like you could make an hour or like maybe like an hour trip, lah, but 4-hour trip if it's Sam's case. Like once a month, what? Go get some stock up and then you just come back, lah.
dude, move to Fraser Sale.
Is it?
It's
that-
so nice and cold. Seriously, you can walk outside without sweating. They have a paddock there. It's
But like, it's quite hilly, right? So if I'm not mistaken, in Frasers, you can't exactly do like farming. Do they do farming? I think
Yeah.
Cameron does more farming.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not very.
It's
I mean,
not
like you
ecological.
can probably grow chilies and stuff, lah. But I don't.
Yeah, like vine stuff. But
Yeah.
my wife Jen, she has family in Cameron Highlands.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a
okay.
farm. But she's like, wow, I tell you, envious, man. Look at them. I was just talking to her today. Like, if I quit my job and I started selling food at a hawker store, would you help me? She's like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. I would quit in a heartbeat, man.
Oh.
Don't you think, man?
My girlfriend.
What does she do?
She does marketing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in healthcare. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sick of
my
this shit.
girlfriend's in healthcare. So,
Oh shit! What
yeah.
the fuck? Are you allowed to say which company? I'm not allowed to say which company.
Yeah, I probably just to be safe. No, but she works in the
Hospital, is it?
no, it's not hospital. It's a
It's an organization, lah.
study. It's like a research area, lah.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so not really like facing customers and stuff like that. It's more the other side.
Mine is in publication.
Ah,
Yeah. So sort
Oh,
of like for internal use that thing.
Got
I think if I said that, if you Google, you probably know lah. But I'm
Okay.
not allowed to say because she's very private about her.
No, that's fair,
her work
yeah.
life. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. We can wrap up if you're okay. But is there anything else you want to shout out, bro? Or I know you can give me the link to your film when it comes
Yeah.
out. I'll put it in the description. But anything else you want to shout out, bro?
No, nothing comes to mind really. Just I guess. Thanks for having me. I think
pleasure,
No,
man.
pleasure's ours.
it it's like yesterday was my last day of work, so it feels like a demarcation line for me. Everything after this is my future.
All you film folks so scenic.
No, it's because the shot is established in your mind. You're shooting yourself, right? Like you're imagining yourself, right, from like top view or behind, having this conversation, that whole cinematic look.
You guys, I tell you.
Bro, I always have that too, man. I'm like thinking about it, but I'm just a shit writer. So I can never graduate past that. So I just realized like I'm just good at speaking. Hence the podcast lah.
Fair. I mean, do our strengths. Right? Just I guess you'll link my
I'll put your
YouTube
Instagram and your
IG.
TikTok,
Okay.
your YouTube, everything's on the description. Just I'll WhatsApp you after this, and then like you just give me all the links. I can put it down below. But thank
Awesome.
you so much for thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
It's
Yeah, had a
been
good
like a year plus. It's been sitting
in the
it's been-
works.
It's been
Yeah.
in the works, but I'm glad like we could make this happen, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really a really lovely way to spend my evening. Thank you.
Dude, I think it's the pleasure's all ours, man.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we just take a quick photo before we chow.
Sure.
He's just gonna do a screen grab.
Okay, I won't be a millennial in peace sign.
All right, dude. Thanks, brother. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, man.